It's 6 o'clock and time for the Big Band Show here on KPCS. My name is Dale Mondre, and for the next hour, we'll be traveling down Nostalgia Lane, visiting some of the great entertainers of the past. So keep your dial set at 89.3 FM. That's KPCS in Pasadena. From the 1940 motion picture Spring Parade, this is Deanna Durbin singing When April Sings.
The countryside is green again, the world is 17 again, my heart awakes when April sings. The skies above are blue again, the daffodils are new again, these are the joys that April brings. Songbirds are whispering down by the stream, telling our weary world wake up and dream. For love is new again, and one are two again. My heart awakes when April sings. Spring is here, not a mere January thaw, but a little robin I saw told me it was so, and so I know. Spring is here, summer's near, how can I tell? I know every sign of spring so very well. The countryside is green again, the world is 17 again, my heart awakes when April sings. The skies above are blue again, the daffodils are new again, these are the joys that April brings. Songbirds are whispering down by the stream, telling our weary world wake up and dream. For love is new again, and one are two again. My heart awakes when April sings.
Graham, my uncle bought a new second-handed car, you know.
What kind is it, Chief?
Well, I don't know. He calls it baby.
Why is that?
I don't know. It won't go any place without a rattle. I don't know. I hate automobiles, Graham.
Oh, you...
I do. They make people silly, I think.
They do?
I think so.
How's that?
My aunt was out driving Sunday. A policeman hollered at her, and he said, "Say!" He said, "Don't you pay any attention to those red and green lights?"
Yeah? What happened?
My aunt said, "I saw them, but I thought the streets were still decorated from Christmas."
Chief, I have a tip I'd like to pass along to all motorists tonight.
What's that?
Fire Chief was made for instant pickup.
Yeah.
Thrilling speed and
Yeah,
power.
yeah.
That's the kind of action fire engines, emergency vehicles
Yeah.
of all types must have.
Think of that, Graham. Oh, I don't say that gasoline isn't powerful.
Yes, it is.
Quite the contrary.
Uh-oh.
Quite the contrary, Graham. I know that's powerful gasoline.
Sure is.
Well, I'll show you how powerful it is. This is so silly, I don't even want to say it.
Well, tell me about it. Go on.
Well, the Texas company gave me a present last Saturday of $200.
They did?
Yes, they must have soaked the 200 in fire cheap gasoline because I never saw anything go so fast in all my life.
Fire Chief gasoline.
What?
I'll write you a letter about it.
You'll get the tickets for mentioning fire cheap gasoline on this program.
Yeah?
You should mention our product, whatever it is. I don't know.
Fire Chief gasoline.
Do you mean to say that that's what we're selling?
Get back to work, will you?
Fire cheap gasoline?
Yeah.
That's the first time I've known it. I've been here 3 years. Isn't this a chewing gum program?
You can't shoot
Well, I've got nothing against the gasoline. I honestly haven't.
That's good.
But personally, I'll stick to my horse.
Oh, that's
My aunt loves horses, Graham.
She does?
Oh, she loves horse racing. She goes with me to all the races.
Is that so?
Oh, my goodness, yes. Last week she went to the doctor. She didn't feel well, you know.
Uh-huh.
The doctor examined her. He says, you're all right, madam.
Yeah?
But there's something wrong with your system.
That worry your aunt?
My aunt said, you're nuts. My system's all right. I picked 3 winners yesterday.
All right. Hey, Chief, listen, will you be quiet? We've got a lot of letters here, and we have to get through them. Let's start, huh?
yes.
All right. Here's one from Palm Springs, California.
Palm Springs.
Yeah. Dear Fire Chief, you claim to know everything. Answer this one. Who was the first person to do a jigsaw puzzle? Signed, a piece missing.
See, you're not all there. The first person to do a jigsaw puzzle was the Scotsman who tore up a $10 bill by mistake.
Here's one from Dallas, Texas.
Where?
Dallas, Texas.
Dallas.
Yeah. Dear Fire Chief, who was the greatest gangster of all time? Signed, forgot what to say.
Gangster. Dear, I'll be very careful. The greatest gangster of all time was Atlas. He held up the whole world, that guy. Go on.
Here's one from Tucson. Chief.
Yes,
here's one from Tucson, Arizona.
Tucson, I've been there, Graham.
Dear Fire Chief,
Oh.
last night while I was sleeping, my wife shaved off my mustache. What do you think of that? Signed, mortified.
Oh, my. Dear Mortified, it's the condition that exists all over the world right now. The mere fact that your mustache was shaved off while you were sleeping proves that nobody can tell what's going on right under their own noses.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. You're a very, very lovely audience. I'd like to try and sing for you a song made famous by Miss Fanny Bryce. It's titled My Man. Thank you. It costs me a lot, but there's one thing that I've got. It's my man. It's my man. Cold or wet, tied your bet. All of this I'll soon forget with my man. He's not much on looks, he's no hero out of books, but I love him. Yes, I love him. 2 or 3 girls has he that he likes as well as me. But I love him. I don't know why I should. He isn't true. He beats me too. What can I do? Oh, my man, I love him so. He'll never know. All my life is just despair. But I don't care when he takes me in his arms. The world is bright, all right. What's the difference if I say I'll go away when I know I'll come back on my knees someday? For whatever my man is, I'm his forever more.
recorded live. That was Billie Holiday doing My Man. Before that, we heard Ed Wynn from his old radio show. And we started off with Deanna Durbin, When April Sings.
The need of our time is for everyone to develop more of their full potential, so that all aspects of life are more rewarding. Transcendental meditation is a simple, natural technique which fulfills this need. Transcendental meditation unfolds three qualities of life which are essential for balanced growth: adaptability, stability, and integration. These qualities naturally develop through a deep state of relaxation that increases the orderly functioning of body and mind. This progressive unification results in greater accomplishment and enjoyment of life. The International Meditation Society is now offering courses in transcendental meditation throughout the greater Los Angeles area. For further information, call 449-4224.
From 1950, recorded live on the Bing Crosby radio show, this is Judy Garland.
You made me love you. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it. You made me want you. And all the time you knew it. I guess you always knew it. You made me happy sometimes. You made me glad. But there were times, dear, you made me feel so bad. You made me cry 'cause I didn't want to tell you. I didn't want to tell you. I think you're grand. That's true. Yes, I do. Deed, I do. You know I do. I can't tell you what I'm feeling. The very mention of your name sends my heart reeling. You know you made me love you. Oh, you made me cry 'cause I didn't want to tell you. I didn't want to tell you. I need some love. That's true. Yes, I do. Deed, I do. You know I do. Give me what I cry for. You know you've got a brand of kisses that I'd die for. You know you made me love you.
Oh, when I love, there's no two ways about it. Yes, when I love, I cannot live without it. And when I fall, and you should never doubt it. If my lips say no to you, they're only telling lies. Look at me and you will see a sissy in my eyes. Pum, 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 pum. That's how my heart goes and I am pleased. I'm so excited. Pum, 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 pum. You have oomph and oomph, I can resist when I meet a man and he's nice looking. I smile at him and say, hey, what's cooking? And when he holds me tight and puts a cheek to mine, I feel so terrific, so close, so divine. I feel like Mickey Mouse is running up up and down my spine. Bum, chidum, bum, 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 bum. I'm completely overcome. Bum, chidum, bum. When I love, I love.
Ho, 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 ho.
Ooh, 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 ooh.
You fall for me.
I fall for you. When I love, I love. It is no imitation. And when I kiss with such anticipation. And when I thrill. But I need cooperation. If I say stop, please go away. And I am acting cool. If you stop and go away, you are just a fool. Bum, chidum, bum, 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 bum. Bum, chidum, bum, 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 bum. Something in me sing when I'm caressed. Mama, you get a bum, chidum, bum, 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 bum. Bum, chidum, bum, 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 bum. When I give, I always give my best. When I meet a man and he's nice looking, I smile at him and say, hey, what's cooking? And when he holds me tight and puts his cheek to mine, I feel so terrific, so colossal, so divine. I feel like Mickey Mouse is running up and down my spine. Bum, chidum, bum, 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 bum. Bum, chidum, bum, 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 bum. Bum, chidum, bum, when I love.
Bum, chi, bum, bum, when she loves.
When I dream, I dream. When I thrill, I thrill. When I kiss, and I fall, I fall. And when I love, I love.
Carmen Miranda, When I Love, I Love. Before that, we heard Benny Goodman from 1938 with Don't Be That Way. And we started with Judy Garland, You Made Me Love You. We'll be back with Old Time Radio after this.
Why are some men spry at 80 and others inactive at 18?
To be young is to be young in spirit. Youth is an outlook, not a stage. To be young is to face life, not to fear it. Youth is a feeling, not an age.
The American Chiropractic Association reminds you that chronological age is not a reliable indicator of abilities. Health is. Take care of yours.
Youth is a feeling, not an age.
And now from KPCS, my name is Dale Mondre, and this is Old Time Radio.
When my baby smiles at me, what a familiar, tuneful radio signature. And need I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that this melody heralds the approach to the microphone of that lovable, high-hatted tragedian of song, Ted Lewis. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir. Is everybody happy?
The Woody Herman Show. Music and fun by America's band number one. Brought to you by the makers of Wild Rose Cream Oil for the hair. Yeah. Just mention the word charity to most Americans. They'll dig right down in their pockets to contribute. But you know, sometimes it doesn't do any harm to find out just where your money is going.
It's Scattergood Veins versus Sweet Charity.
Can a stepmother successfully raise another woman's children? Colgate All-Purpose Tooth Powder presents the real-life story of Kay Fairchild, a stepmother who tries.
Crime does not pay.
$500,000? Rocky, you gone crazy?
I said 500,000 smackers. You got that? 500,000 smackers for a little brain work. And maybe a few rounds of ammo for Chopper's typewriter.
In the interest of good citizenship and law enforcement, we present Crime Does Not Pay.
From the pen of Raymond Chandler, outstanding author of mystery, comes his most famous character and crime's most deadly enemy, as we present The Adventures of Philip Marlowe.
Midnight, when the graves gape open and death strikes. How? You'll learn the answer in just a moment in The Man with the Black Beard.
What time is it? Why, it's time for the Abbott and Costello Show. We're on the air for ABC here in Hollywood. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go with the Abbott and Costello Show.
When a Girl Marries. Maxwell House, that right, mellow, satisfying coffee that's good to the last drop, presents When a Girl Marries. A tender human story of young married life, dedicated to everyone who has ever been in love.
The Road of Life, brought to you transcribed by Ivory Soap.
The Kraft Foods Company presents Willard Waterman as the Great Gildersleeve. The Red Skelton Program. Here's the Dave Rose Orchestra, Anita Ellis, Verna Felton, Lorene Tuttle, Pat McGeehan, Rod O'Connor, and our star, Red Skelton.
Here's Truman Harper, the rumor detective, with the truth about rumors, presented by Grove's Bromoquinine Cold Tablets.
Good evening. If you believe rumors, you're a sucker. If you repeat rumors, you're one of Hitler's best soldiers. Learn the truth about rumors. The truth is a bayonet. With it, you can jab and slice a rumor to ribbons.
Nabisco, Nabisco is the name to know. For a breakfast you can't beat. Try Nabisco shredded wheat. Keen eyes fixed on a flying target. A gleaming arrow set against a rawhide string. A strong bow bent almost to the breaking point. And then... Great arrow! Nabisco Shredded Wheat presents Straight Arrow, a new, thrilling adventure story from the exciting days of the Old West. To friends and neighbors alike, Steve Adams appeared to be nothing more than the young owner of the Broken Bow cattle spread. But when danger threatened innocent people, and when evildoers plotted against justice, then Steve Adams' rancher disappeared. And in his place came a mysterious stalwart Indian, wearing the dress and war paint of a Comanche, riding the great golden Palomino Fury. Galloping out of the darkness to take up the cause of law and order throughout the West comes the legendary figure of Straight Arrow.
You're listening to KPCS 89.3 FM in Pasadena.
close to me, where he's supposed to be. He's home for a little while. I live for his kiss. I hit the skies when he looks in my eyes, and my knees grow weak with bliss. He's sort of changed. He's kind of different from the boy I used to know a while ago. Strange how much he says without a word, and when he holds my hand, I understand. I'm his, but forevermore. He's mine, mine alone. We'll have to part, but he's close to my heart for the little while. He's home. He's sort of changed. He's kind of different from the boy I used to know a while ago. Strange how much he says without a word, and when he holds my hand, I understand. I'm his, but forevermore. He's mine, mine alone. We'll have to part, but he's close to my heart for the little while. He's
From 1945, He's Home for a Little While. And of course, the fantastic Janis Joplin from 1968, Bye Bye Baby. And we started with Liza Morrow and Benny Goodman from 1945, My Guys Come Back.
I'm John Warner, Administrator of the new Bicentennial Administration established by the Congress of the United States. The Bicentennial is the 200th anniversary of the founding of our great nation. The Bicentennial honors the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights. Those three great instruments that are the blueprint for the longest surviving democratic republic in the world. More than that, the Bicentennial is the laying of the cornerstone for the nation's third century. We Americans face a challenge as fresh, as daring as that of the spirit of 1776. Unite in a common effort to improve the quality of life. I urge you join in the continuing American Revolution. Make sure your name is inscribed on that cornerstone as a participant.
Tommy Dorsey from 1937.
Good morning, Freddie, darling.
Good morning to Lou Angel.
Sweetheart, I must say you look refreshingly well rested this morning.
Yes, thanks to our wonderful Pasternak factory-tested Pussy Willow mattress. The mattress that takes all of the guesswork out of sleeping. Well, breakfast ready, Angel Face?
Yes, sweetums. Here's your coffee.
Well, thank you, doll.
Oh, peach fuzz. You've spilled some on your vest.
Good. Now I can try some of that Little Panther spot remover. Just spray some Little Panther on your vest and watch it eat the spot right out.
And imagine, darling...
Stop! Don't you dare move to Lou.
But, darling...
What have you done to your hair? That sheen, that brilliance.
Well, I guess it's what so many society women are doing these days. I went to Madame Yvonne's hair do heaven.
Well, it is divine. Your head looks like the back of a bunny, really. Oh, our canary.
Little Yasha is so happy.
He knows that the newspaper on the bottom of his cage is New York's leading daily.
Oh, good morning, Mums and Daddy.
Oh.
Isn't she cute? I just love the way your tooth is shining this morning.
Yes, Mummy. I brushed it with Dr. Pratt's homogenized toothpaste.
So sweet.
I love you, Mummy and Daddy.
I love you too, darling. Now you run along to school, baby. Well, that's little Yasha telling us our time is up.
We'll be back tomorrow morning at 6, folks. Until then, this is Freddie.
And Tallulah.
Saying goodbye. Now, wasn't that simple, Tallulah, with a radio program like this?
But it's ridiculous, Fred. Nobody can possibly be that cheerful every morning.
Well, that's true. If one of those happy couples woke up grouchy one morning, the listener would probably hear something like this.
Hey, knucklehead, get out of that bed. You got a program to do.
Will you quit yapping? 6 o'clock in the morning. Who's up to listen to us? A couple of burglars and Arthur Godfrey, maybe. My mouth tastes like a sandhog just pulled his foot out of it. Dad, I'm sleepy.
Well, why don't you stay home some night and try sleeping?
Sleeping on that Pasternak pussy willow mattress? Every time I lie down on that cat hair, my back arches.
Oh, stop beefing. Here's your coffee.
Well, it's about time. I spilled some on my nightshirt.
Oh, you're such a slob. I'll get that bottle. That little bottle of Panther Spot Remover.
You're not putting any of that Adam juice on me. The last time it ate away my nightshirt and I still had the spot left. Where do you find these sponsors? In the police lineup? Your hair. It looks as though you just took your head out of a mixmaster.
I know that hag, Madame Yvonne, with her chicken fat. My hair keeps sliding off my head.
Ah, that bird again. Shut up, you molting pest.
Now, look here, clam
Oh,
face.
shut up. And Yasha, you shut up, too.
Good morning, Mummy and Daddy.
That'll teach you, sneaking up on your parents with that one tooth like an old elf.
Can the kid help it if she looks like you?
I want my bet first.
Go gum a donut.
Pipe down some.
I've had enough of this grind with you and that kid and the canary yapping around. I've got a gun here.
You're right, you kid, Yasha.
Yes, and you're next.
Alone, alone with the sky of romance above. Alone, alone on a night that was meant for love. There must be someone waiting who feels the way I do. Wherever you are you alone? Alone on a night that we two could share. Alone, alone with your kiss that would make me care. And when you come, I promise to be your very own. Alone, till we are together, we two alone. A million stars are shining bright that glorify the sky. A million lovers out tonight, but here am I, alone with the sky of romance above. Alone on a night that was meant for love. There must be someone waiting who feels the way I do. Wherever you are you alone?
kiss that could make me care. And when you come, I promise to be your very own. Alone, till we are together, we two.
That was Alan Jones from the motion picture A Night at the Opera, also starring the Marx Brothers. That was Alone. Before that, we heard Fred Allen and Tallulah Bankhead from the old Allen's Alley of radio fame. And we started with Tommy Dorsey from 1937. That was Song of India. We'll be back with our final selections after this.
Hi.
Hi.
Are you stuck?
I sure am.
You want me to take a look at it? Maybe I can do something.
Oh, I wish you would. That'd be terrific. I don't know anything about
What happens? Nothing at all? You get nothing?
They won't turn over.
Yeah, that may just be your distributor is wet.
What's a distributor?
That's a distributor.
Oh.
That's the carburetor. That's the engine. That's the body. Let me try. Do you have anything I can dry it off with?
Yeah, I think I've got something in here. Here, how's this?
A sock.
Yeah, I was going to go do my laundry.
Well, I don't know. That might do it. Try it.
Okay.
There's a couple other things we can try if it doesn't work.
Oh, wow, that's fantastic.
If you'd like to learn something that can help you wherever you go,
So much about cars.
today's Army has a job for you.
I'm in the Army. I work on all
For the location of your nearest Army representative, call 800-523-4800, toll free.
Want to go do my laundry?
Again, the fantastic Billie Holiday.
There ain't nothing I ever do, or nothing I ever say, that folks don't criticize me. But I'm going to do just as I want to, anyway. And don't care just what people say. If I should take a notion to jump right into the ocean, ain't nobody's business if I do. If I go to church on Sunday, then cabaret all day Monday, ain't nobody's business if I do. If my man ain't got no money, and I say take all of mine, honey, ain't nobody's business what I do. If I give him my last nickel, and it leaves me in a pickle, ain't nobody's business if I do. I'd rather my man would hit me than for him to jump up and quit me. Ain't nobody's business if I do. I swear I won't call no copper if I'm beat up by my papa. Ain't nobody's business if I do. Ain't nobody's business. Nobody's business. Nobody's business if I do.
once was a girl named Jenny, whose virtues were varied but many, excepting that she was inclined always to make up her mind. But Jenny points a moral with which you cannot quarrel, as you will find.
As we will find, say, who's Jenny? Never heard of Jenny. Jenny is out of place.
Well, I am sure the court'll find Jenny is immortal and has a bearing on this case.
As for instance?
Well, for instance, Jenny made her mind up when she was 3 that she herself was going to trim the Christmas tree. Christmas Eve she lit the candles, tossed the tapers away. Little Jenny was an orphan on Christmas Day.
Poor Jenny, bright as a penny, her equal would be hard to find.
She lost a dad and mother, a sister and a brother, but she would make up her mind.
She was an orphan on Christmas Day.
Jenny made her mind up when she was 12 that into foreign languages she would delve. At 17 to Vassar it was quite a blow that in 27 languages she couldn't say no.
Poor Jenny, bright as a penny, her equal would be hard to find.
To Jenny I'm beholden, her heart was big and golden, but she would make up her mind.
She was a woman, the kind of woman who made up her mind.
Jenny made her mind up at 32. To get herself a husband was the thing to do. She got herself all dolled up in her satins and furs, and she got herself a husband, but he wasn't hers.
She got herself a husband, but he wasn't hers. Poor Jenny.
Jenny made her mind up at 51 that she would write her memoirs before she was done. The very day her book was published, history relates, there were wives who shot their husbands in some 33 states.
Oh, poor Jenny, bright as a penny, her equal would be hard to find.
Deserved a bed of roses, but history discloses that she would make up her mind.
Jenny made up her mind.
Jenny made her mind up at 75 that she would live to be the oldest woman alive. But gin and rum and whiskey play some funny tricks, and poor Jenny kicked the bucket at 76.
Jenny wants tomorrow, with which she can quarrel, takes a lot of common sense.
Jenny and her saga prove that you are gaga if you don't keep sitting on the fence.
Jenny and the story points the way to glory to all man and womankind.
Anyone with vision comes to this decision. Don't make up, you shouldn't make up, mustn't make up, never make up.
Anyone with vision comes to this decision. Don't make up your mind.
Erskine Hawkins from 1940, After Hours. Before that we heard Ann Southern doing the Ballad of Jenny, and we started off with Billie Holiday, Nobody's Business. That's going to close my big band show for today. My name is Dale Mondre, and I'll be back at next Friday night at 6 for more of the same. Until then, for myself and the KPCS staff, let me wish you all a pleasant weekend.
You're tuned to the sounds of the big bands on KPCS Pasadena 89.3, coming to you from the campus of Pasadena City College.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. And weirdos of all ages. That was my special guest DJ from 1975. That was Dale Mondre and the Big Band Show. It is a very special evening tonight in our household, so therefore I am bringing you a very special show. We started the show off tonight with a broadcast from 1975's Big Band Show. My father was a DJ. this music was prominent in our household. And this is from his college days. So while tonight my daughter is graduating college, I thought I would give a nod to the past. And I have chosen for you a fantastic set of shows compiled with music in between. So I'm hoping that you will enjoy this evening's broadcast, even though I will not be here with you. I am going to start the show and leave you to enjoy and check in periodically throughout the evening, but I'm going to my daughter's graduation. So yay, peace, love, stay weird. I will be with you this evening when the show is ending, and we'll spend a little time together then. Thank you so much for coming by, and I will see you soon.
something I adore. That certain something I've been waiting for. Show your dimples, smile at me. Can't you see I love you so? Oh, sweet as tutti tutti, why you're a little beauty. Hello, beauty, hello.
Countdown for blastoff. X minus 5, minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, X minus 1. Fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future. Adventures in which you'll live in 1,000,000 could-be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company presents X minus 1. Tonight's story, Mars is Heaven. When the first space rocket lands on Mars, what will we find? Only the ruins of a dead and deserted planet? Or will there be life? Intelligent life in some strange form that we can only imagine? Will we be welcomed with open arms? Or will the Martians treat us as invaders? Only one thing is certain. Someday, a giant metal ship will take off from Earth to travel through the black velocities, the silent gulfs of space, to descend at last into the darkness of the upper Martian atmospheres. And on that day, man will finally know the answers. The day we first land on Mars.
Now hear this. Now hear this. Approaching critical deceleration. Fasten gravity suits. Stand by to land.
There it is. We've intersected the course vector, sir.
All right, Mr. Lustig. Over to manual control.
Aye, sir.
Masters, sound general quarters. Aye, sir. Mr. Lustig, what do you make of the terrain?
There seems to be a heavy ground, Miss Captain. We won't be able to use the infrared lights.
And we'll have to come in on radar.
Isn't that a little risky, sir? Landing in the dark?
I'd rather run the danger of a blind landing, Lieutenant, than come in without the cover of darkness. Remember, we don't know what kind of reception is waiting for us down there. Airspeed 500. Altitude now 4,000. Bridge to engine room. Stand by for deceleration. Fire forward tubes 1 and 3. Steady as she goes, Mr. Lustig.
As she goes, sir.
Airspeed 100. Altitude 1,000.
Radar indicates a level stretch dead ahead, sir.
Skids down.
Skids check.
Altitude 500. 4. 350. 3. Up a point now. All right. Let's set her down. Cut the power. Masters, pipe battle stations.
Aye, sir. All secured, sir.
Well, gentlemen, we're now on Mars, April 20th, 1987, 4:33 Greenwich time. Enter that in the log, Masters. Aye, sir. Well, gentlemen, it's less than 2 hours till dawn. As soon as it's light, we'll send out a landing party. Masters, get me an all-over hookup. We're all set, Captain. Now hear this. All right, men. The smoking lamp is lit. Well, we're on Mars. The first manned ship from Earth to land here. We don't know what we're going to find or what dangers we may face. We're 17 men on an alien world, and it's up to us whether we ever get home again. The next few hours should tell the story. And I want instant obedience to all commands. I'll court-martial the first man who doesn't jump to when he's ordered. And one other thing. We may be on Mars, but this is still a United States naval vessel. Officers will conduct a personal and weapons inspection in 1 hour. That's all.
An inspection, Captain? Now?
Mr. Lustig, we've got an hour and a half to sweat out before we find out what's outside that airlock. I'd rather have a man worried about his stripes than about what's waiting outside on Mars.
Now hear this. Landing party report to forward airlock. Captain Black, Lieutenant Hingston, Lieutenant Lustig, and Dr. Horst report immediately to forward airlock. There's now landing time -5.
Well, they're paging us. You ready, Dr. Horst?
Yes, Mr. Lustig. As ready as I will ever be.
Come on, let's get in the lock. Hingston, Lustig, and Horst reporting in the airlock.
Very well, sir. The captain will join you.
4 minutes to go. At least the captain would get here.
What difference does it make?
I just want to get it over with, that's all. Anybody got a cigarette?
Yeah, I think you're smoking too much, Lieutenant Lustig. Are you nervous?
I offer you, Horst.
Wondering what's hidden outside underneath that ground mist? I've been giving it some thought. It'll be very interesting to find out. A very unusual planet, Mars.
Why?
It has an atmosphere. A wonderful thing, an atmosphere. Where you find one, you find life.
You mean Martians? What do you think they'll look like?
Who knows? Intelligent life can take many forms.
You mean they may have green skins and eyes on stalks or something?
The comic book conception is possible, of course. Or they may have developed far beyond us. Perhaps they have a science that can produce weapons far more dangerous than our atomic missiles.
You think we may have to fight our way out?
After all, we are invaders.
Now hear this. Landing time -2.
All right. We heard this. You know what I'd like to find outside that airlock? Good old Illinois. Ever been there, Lustig? Only Chicago. Well, you ought to see my hometown. Green lawns, big white houses. Sounds like my hometown. My grandmother used to have one of those iron deer on the lawn. Every Halloween, we'd paint another color. One time, we painted it black and white like a Holstein cow. Where does your family live, Dr. Horst?
I have no family. When I was a child, they were gassed to death in the Dachau concentration camp.
Tough.
No, it has its advantages. I have no ties on Earth. Nothing to lose now. I imagine I'm the only one on board who is free to enjoy our present peculiar position.
All right, Masters, you can button it up now.
Aye, sir.
Well, gentlemen, check your sidearms. In 1 minute, we'll be the first men to set foot on Mars. Quite an honor, eh?
As long as the medals are not rewarded posthumously.
Still uneasy, Dr. Horst?
Captain Black, I've been uneasy ever since I can remember. On Earth and on Mars.
Well, 30 seconds. Give me the intercom phone, Lustig.
Yes, sir.
Masters?
Aye, sir.
Battle stations are to be manned until we return. If we're not back in 2 hours, I want no rescue party sent out. Blast off and save the ship, you understand?
Aye, sir.
All right. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lustig, open the outer airlock.
Aye, sir. It's fresh air.
Let's go. All right, now, take it easy. It's too dark to move fast.
Quiet, isn't it? Not even a wind. Can't see anything from this ground this time.
We don't know what's out here. All right, come on.
What the quiet? Captain, I could swear that sounds like a rooster.
I don't hear it anymore.
Very homely but unlikely sound. A rooster crowing on Mars?
Hingston.
Aye, sir.
Set that machine gun 25 yards to the flank. We'll stay here till the ground mist lifts.
Aye, sir.
What do you make of the ground, Horse?
Grass. plain grass. You can see some large foliage there where the mist's thinned out.
What the? Hingston, hold your fire, you fool! I hit it, Captain.
What?
Some kind of wild animal. I hit it. I could see the tracers, but it's still standing.
Come on, Horst. Doctor, where are you?
Up ahead, admiring the wild animal.
Careful, Horst. Wait for us.
Don't worry, Captain. It's an iron deer. A lawn ornament.
Well, that's impossible.
It's hollow. Interesting, isn't it? A whitewashed Victorian iron deer sitting on a lawn in the middle of Mars.
I don't understand.
Look around. The mist's lifting.
Hey, Captain, look there. It's a house, a regular old-fashioned house.
But, sir, on Mars. Good Lord. I haven't seen carved scrolls and gingerbread like that in years. Look at that porch swing. The geraniums.
There. I told you it was a rooster, Captain.
Give me the glasses, Lustig. I want to take a look through that front window. Well, there's an upright piano. Some sheet music on it. Lustig, it's beautiful Ohio. Oh, it can't be, sir. Horst, do you think that civilization of two planets could be identical?
I don't know. That specific variety of geraniums is only 50 years old on Earth.
Is it logical that they should develop in Mars? How about that porch swing and the piano and beautiful Ohio? Why, it's impossible.
Captain Black, this looks like the town I was born in.
Well, it looks like my hometown, too.
I've thought of something, sir. It's the only solution. Maybe we're not the first ship to reach Mars from Earth.
Don't be ridiculous, Lustig.
Oh, how else can you explain it? Suppose some scientists got together. They invented some spaceship and planted a colony here. That's the only answer.
That's impossible, Lustig. Been space travel, it couldn't be secret. Do you have any idea what ships cost, what industrial power is needed? No, there's got to be some logical reason.
I think perhaps we might find out, Captain. The light just went on in that house.
Kingston, cover that door with the machine gun.
Aye, sir.
All right, come on, Horst. We're going to ring that doorbell. There's got to be a scientific answer to all this.
And there's something moving in there.
Stand back, Horst. Give me a clear shot.
Are you sure a bullet can stop a Martian?
Steady now.
Can I help you?
Will we...
If you're selling anything, it's much too early.
No, wait just a minute. What town is this?
What do you mean? Are you census takers?
No. We're strangers here. We want to know how this town got here.
Is this a game?
No, it's not a game. We're from Earth.
From where?
From Earth.
Do you mean out of the ground? Are you sure you're feeling well?
Madam, we came in a flying ship across space. We're from the third planet, Earth. This is Mars. Now do you understand? Mars.
You go away now, you hear? I'll call my husband from upstairs and he'll chase you. Go on.
But this is Mars, isn't it?
This is Green Lake, Wisconsin, in the United States of America. Bounded on the east by the Atlantic and on the west by the Pacific. Now go away. Goodbye.
Horst, do you suppose it's really possible? I've got to find out more about this.
I told you I'd call my husband. Now you go away.
You've got to tell me one thing first. What year is this?
Year? 1928, of course. For goodness sake.
You hear that, Horst? And we know it's 1987, and we know this is Mars. Horst, is it possible that we got fouled up, made some tremendous blunder, circled around, and landed back on Earth?
In 1928?
Well, maybe some switch in time or dimension. Could we have shifted somehow, gone backward in time? Oh, Horst, this won't hold water. It's not logical. We checked every mile. We went past the moon, out into space. We're on Mars. Lustig out at point. Hingston in the rear. Keep that gun at half load.
Aye, sir.
Horst, there's got to be some cold, logical solution.
Captain.
What?
That house down the street, the white one with the green shutters.
Lustig, what's the matter?
I never thought of... Thank God!
Lustig, come back here.
He's running for that house.
That crazy fool. After him, quick.
Lustig, stop!
Come down off of that porch. Lustig, what the devil do you think you're doing?
Albert!
Grandma, Grandpa, it is you.
Lustig, what is going on here?
Albert, it's been so many years.
How you've grown, boy.
It's so good to see you.
Lieutenant Lustig!
Oh. Captain, Grandma, I want you to meet my friends. This is Captain Black. Captain, I want you to meet my grandfolks.
Howdy. Any friend of Albert's is a friend of ours.
How long have you been here, Grandma?
Oh, a good many years, ever since we died.
Ever since you what?
Oh, yes, sir. They've been dead 30 years.
What?
Oh, now, don't you trouble yourself. It's all right. We're alive again, that's all.
Do you mean to tell me that Mars is heaven?
Oh, nonsense, no. All we know is here we're alive again. And who are we to question God's infinite ways?
Well, Lustig, we're going back to the ship.
But, Captain, I want to talk to my grandpa.
Lieutenant Lustig, I don't like any part of this. You'll come back with us if I have to club you and carry you.
I see.
Now, let's go. Heaven only knows what they've run up against back at the ship. Crowd around the ship.
Looks like we're being welcomed with a celebration, Captain.
Celebration? They've abandoned ship. Every port is open. No guard set. You masters!
Hiya, Captain. Meet my old dad. Dad, that's Captain Black. He's not a bad guy for an officer.
Hingston!
What's it?
Bring that band back. Use force if you have to.
Excuse me, sir. There's my Uncle George.
Hingston!
I'll be right back, Captain. Uncle George.
What the devil is going on here?
Understand, sir? They've all found friends and relatives. They're all here.
Right, Captain. I found it. The whole crew's out in the crowd.
But I gave orders. Definite orders.
You don't understand, Captain.
I understand mutiny. I don't care how many relatives show up. I'll have discipline.
Johnny! What? Johnny, you old son of a gun.
It's you. Edward.
Yes.
It can't be.
Oh, of course it is. Johnny,
Ed.
you old...
Ed. Dr. Horst. This is my brother, Edward.
How do you do?
Hello, sir.
It's wonderful to see you, Edward. Look, I've got to get back to my ship.
Oh, Johnny, wait. I almost forgot. Mom's waiting at home.
Mom?
Yeah, and Dad, too.
Mom and Dad are alive? Then you're real, Ed.
Well, of course. Don't I feel real? How's that, huh?
Why, Ed!
We've got lunch for you, Johnny. Mom's making corn fritters.
Dr. Horst, haven't you found anybody?
No, Captain. I have nobody.
Oh, then you come on home with me, right, Ed?
Why, sure.
Horst, you wouldn't believe it, but it's been 35 years since I had Mom's corn fritters. By George, 35 years.
And there's plenty more in the kitchen, so don't hold back, Johnny. You too, Dr. Horst.
Well, Johnny, you're still in the Navy, huh?
That's right, Dad. I'm in command of the ship.
We're an old Navy family, Dr. Horst. All three of our boys in the service.
Yeah, Ed was the best pilot in the Pacific, too. What did happen, Ed?
What's the difference? I'm here now.
Yeah, but...
You know, it's almost perfect. All we're missing is your brother, Will. Then the whole family could be together.
Well, it won't be long, Mom. Will's in charge of the XR-54. Next rocket coming out to Mars.
Oh. Well, little Will. When does he leave, Johnny?
Well, the takeoff's scheduled for September, but it depends on what we report.
Oh, yeah.
There's no question about that now, huh?
No.
Christmas together again. That'll be something.
Sure will, yes, sirree. Well, this calls for a celebration. How about a little of the old dandelion wine, eh, Johnny?
Now, Father, don't you go giving Johnny too much wine.
He's a big boy now, Mother. Well, sir, isn't everything just fine? Just fine.
Again, will you, Ed?
Oh, sure.
Well, Dr. Horst, what are you doing sitting over here alone? What do you think of my little family?
Very nice.
You know, I can't understand why you didn't find any folks here, Dr. Horst. It's just a shame everybody else is so happy.
Well, I never remembered my family, Mrs. Black. All I know is they were gassed at Dachau during the Second World War. When I was liberated, I was in delirium 3 months. I cannot remember anything before then. A psychiatric phenomena.
Well, that's terrible. Isn't there anything anybody can do?
I don't want to remember. I have not had a pleasant life. I prefer to be free of emotional entanglements. They interfere with a scientific approach.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dr. Horst.
What? Oh, I'll get it. That's our ring, long and 3 shorts. I remember that.
Well, maybe we'd better call it a night. You must be getting tired, Johnny.
I'd better be going back to the ship.
Nonsense. You stay the night. We insist.
I just couldn't rest thinking of you all alone on that ship.
I'll be all right. Well, good night.
Oh, wait a minute, Dr. Horst. That phone message was for you.
Me?
Yes, that's right. A message from Anna.
Anna? I don't...
Well, there, she must be an old friend. Isn't that nice?
I don't... You sure it was for me? I don't remember any Anna.
Well, she asked if you were better.
Perhaps she's someone who knew you at Dachau.
Anna?
She said she's coming over here first thing in the morning. So you'll have to stay over.
Yes,
well, that settles it then. You stay here, Horst. You can bunk with me in my old room.
Yeah, but Johnny, we thought you'd like to be with Edward.
So you could talk the way you used to.
Well, we can't put Dr. Horst on the daybed. I think we better share the room tonight. Be plenty of time for talking, Ed.
Yes, I guess so.
I suppose I better drop back to the ship. You know, Ed, security check.
Why do you have to do that here?
I don't know, Mom. There's no good reason, I guess. Suppose we skip it tonight, huh? Well, good night, everybody.
Oh, it's good to have you home, Johnny.
It's good to be home, Mom.
Captain Black.
Huh?
You asleep?
No, I've been thinking about what we were expecting. Green-skinned Martians. All the time there was only Mom and Dad and Edward waiting. That's funny what tricks your imagination can play on you. Well, I guess Mars is heaven, Horst.
You know, I've been thinking about Martians, too. Captain, just suppose there were Martians, and they saw us land, and suppose they thought of us as invaders. What would be the best weapon they could use against our atom bombs, huh?
I don't see what you're getting at.
They would want to disarm us first, huh? To wipe out all suspicion, to make us feel at home. Captain, suppose this house isn't real. Suppose the people are just images, stolen from our own memories by Martians, created for us by telepathy. Hypnotism.
Oh, that's the craziest theory I ever heard.
Maybe that's why there was no one for me. Because in all my life, there is no happy memory, no real loved person, not even my mother. I don't remember her. Only the piles of rotting corpses at Dachau. There was no happy emotion for these people to recreate.
How about that phone call? Anna?
Yes, Anna. I didn't remember who she was, but I do now. I just remembered. When I was freed from Dachau, sick, delirious, I raved about a wonderful, kind nurse named Anna that took care of me.
Well, there you are. It's logical. She's coming to see you tomorrow.
But there was no Anna. I'd been nursed by a man.
What?
Anna was only a dream. And there's only one way they could have learned about her, by reading my subconscious mind.
That's impossible, Horst.
Why? The whole crew was thinking of home. Suppose the Martians read our minds.
Yes, but if there are Martians...
If there are, they have us separated. Each man in a different house, sleeping, trusting. No one at the guns.
I left my pistol downstairs. Do you think there's something to this, Horst?
It's a perfect trap, Captain. Who would suspect his own mother, his grandparents? How easy. Just a knife in the heart of each sleeping man.
That's impossible, Horst. But we've got to get back to the ship.
Listen. The crickets have stopped.
Come on.
We don't know when they change back to whatever they really are.
All right, careful.
Where are you going, John?
Ed, we wanted a drink of water. That's all, Ed.
You're not thirsty, John. You don't want a drink.
Look out!
You don't want a
His
drink.
face! It's changing! He's a Martian! Run, horse! Run!
You can't get away, John.
This way, horse! Horse, where are you?
Hello? Hello? Can you hear me, Earth? This is Captain John Black, the XR-53 calling from Mars. I've locked myself in the ship, but they've crippled it. I can't take off or fire the guns, and they're coming for me now, the Martians. I'm all alone here. All the rest are dead. Hinkston, Lustig, Dr. Horst. Poor Horst, he didn't even reach the door. Listen. They're trying to break through the hull.
Edward and Mom and Dad and all the folks. But they're changing now. They're melting and changing back into... They're Martians. Can you understand? Martians, not men. They make us think that Mars was heaven and we fell into the trap. Can you hear me, Earth? You've got to stop the next rocket. Listen, tell my brother Will. Tell my brother not to come. They'll trap him, too. They'll kill them all. Hello? Hello? Can you hear me, Earth? This is John Black on Mars. Hello, Earth. This is John Black on Mars. Hello, Earth. Hello, Earth.
Tonight, X-1 has brought you the science fiction classic, Mars is Heaven, written by Ray Bradbury and adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy. Featured in the cast were Wendell Holmes as Captain Black and Peter Capell as Dr. Horst, with Bill Zuckert as Masters, Bill Lipton as Hingston, Margaret Berlin as the old lady, Bill Griffiths as Edward, Ken Williams as Lustig, Ethel Everett as Mom, and Edwin Jerome as Dad. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Fred Wayne and is a transcribed NBC Radio Network production.
I tell you, Captain, it don't make sense. We picked her up walking down the street saying the same thing over and over again. Why, she's as goofy as they come, I tell you. Listen to her yourself.
Revenge, revenge, revenge,
Revenge, revenge, revenge. Yeah, listen to her, Captain. Over and over again.
revenge,
Such a young and pretty girl.
revenge,
What could have driven her out of her mind like that, I ask you?
revenge, 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 revenge.
Yes, what is it?
I'm looking for a Mr. Henry Stewart, if you please.
Oh, you mean about the advertisement?
Yes, that's right. I got here as soon as I could.
That's all right. As long as you got here, that's all that matters. Come in.
Oh, thank you.
Just put your suitcase down there. It'll be all right.
Thank you.
Oh. Now, if you come right this way.
Thank you.
Just step in here, Miss...
Malone. Ella Malone.
Oh, yes, of course. Miss Malone. Now, then, you'll have a chair, please.
Oh, thank you.
There we are. Now, then, Miss Malone, to be perfectly frank with you, I wasn't quite expecting you today.
Oh, I'm truly sorry, Mr. Stewart. But you see, I took the wrong train and I had the hardest time finding the house. I do hope you'll forgive me.
Of course. Don't give it another thought. Promptness may be a virtue, but we all can't be virtuous, now can we? Now then, you're here in answer to my advertisement.
Yes, sir. You wrote me.
Oh, yes, it was. You're the young lady from...
From Queensville.
Oh, yes, Queensville. You have my letter with you?
Oh, yes, sir. Right here, sir.
Yes. Now then, your friends know you came here, of course.
There's no one very much interested, Mr. Stewart.
Oh, come now. A pretty young girl like you, no young beaux, and so on.
No, sir, there's no one. I mean, sir, you can depend on me to give all my attention to my work.
Very commendable indeed. My work, as I wrote you, is entirely confidential. My philanthropies are, to a great extent, entirely sub rosa, no fuss, no feathers. You understand what I mean?
Oh, yes, sir.
As my secretary, my affairs will be entirely in your hands. My checking account, my finances, and so on, entirely in your care.
I understand, sir.
It's quite a responsibility, and you're quite a young woman. And as I wrote you, the bank...
Oh, yes, sir, I understand. The bond, I brought the money for it, $300. I've got it right here, sir.
Oh, fine. That's very businesslike, yes, indeed. I'll give you a receipt, and there we'll be.
Mr. Stewart.
Yes? Oh, my pen. Oh, yes, here we are.
My money. Will I get it back from the bank any time I leave your employ... I mean, when you want me to?
Oh, yes, of course. Now then, here we are. Received of Miss Nellie Malone.
Ella.
Oh, yes, of course, Ella. Memory isn't quite what it used to be. That's why I need a good secretary.
I'm very good at remembering things.
Oh, you are. Now then, here we are. Guess this receipt is in good order. Received of Miss Ella Malone. $300 to be deposited with the Merchants Bank as surety bond, and to be returned to said Ella Malone upon request. There's my signature. Now then, how's that?
I'm sure that'll do very well, sir.
Now, then, you have got my receipt, but I...
Oh, I beg your pardon.
Not at all.
Oh, of course, I have it right here. I am sorry.
Oh, well, I understand the excitement of your trip.
Here it is, Mr. Stewart. You see, I had it already in an envelope. Now, if you're open...
Oh, no, not at all. Ben can do that when I send it to them in the morning. Now, just put your purse down there, and I'll show you through your new home.
Yes, Mr. Stewart.
Now, we'll go right up these stairs.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yes, you find I have quite a place here. 3 stories high, and every inch of it my own design.
Rather dark.
Oh, careful now.
Oh, I'm all right.
Mustn't hurt yourself. Hardly the way to start a new job, now. Now then, here we are. Got a nice room for you, very nice. Fact of the matter is, you can choose any room on this floor.
But, Mr. Stewart, your daughters...
Daughters?
Yes, won't they object? You said anything.
Oh, yes, my daughters. I did write to you about them, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Well, never mind about them. They're upstairs studying. Now, right here. I suggest that you take this room, at least for tonight.
Whatever you say, Mr. Stewart.
Get the light on here. There we are. Nice, isn't it?
I've never had such a large room. If you've got one a little smaller...
On the contrary, my dear Miss Monroe, you'll find this one small enough. Perhaps a little too small. Yes, indeed. Entirely too small.
But, Mr. Stewart... Locking the door... Mr. Stewart, why did you... Mr. Stewart, why did you lock the door? Mr. Stewart, why have you shut me in here? Mr. Stewart, please. Please answer me. Mr. Stewart, please let me out of here. Mr. Stewart, please let me out of here. It's getting dark in here. Please. Mr. Stewart, let me out.
Yes, Miss Nord. There's no doubt in my mind at all that you're the very person I want to employ as my housekeeper.
I'm very glad to hear that, Mr. Stewart.
Of course, the matter of being housekeeper of a place as large as mine calls for definite qualities, you understand, of course.
I'll always do my best, sir.
Well, one certainly can't ask for more than that, no, indeed.
Your wife, maybe she'd like to talk to me.
My wife? Oh, yes, of course. I wrote you about my wife, didn't I?
Yes, sir.
Well, my wife is out shopping. As soon as she returns, you will meet her. I'm sure she'll find your recommendations as satisfactory as I did.
Makes me very happy. I've always wanted to work in a fine house.
Now, about money.
Oh, any salary you want to pay me, Mr. Stewart, it's all right. I just want a chance to show you how good I can do your work.
Very commendable, yes, indeed, very commendable. But we must agree on a salary. I'm the sort of man who has respect for money and expects a similar respect in others. Oh, yes, and speaking of money, you'll be wanting to open a new bank account, I suppose.
Bank account?
Yes, it's my principle that everyone employed by me should have a savings account. Builds character. I'll open an account for you in the morning. You can transfer any other bank accounts you have back in your hometown up to my bank. Convenience, you know.
Oh, no, sir, I haven't got that. I haven't any money in the bank back home. I took it all out.
Oh.
It wasn't much anyway. I got what's left of Father's insurance money after my mother died.
Oh, yes. Well, now then, supposing you leave all your things here and we'll go look over the house,
That'll be very nice.
Here, right through this door.
I'd be glad to be working in such a big house.
Right this way. Oh, yes, quite an establishment here. Designed it all myself.
I work hard, Mr. Stewart.
Oh, yes, I'm certain you will. Now then, right down these stairs. I'll show you everything downstairs first.
You have a washing machine?
Huh? Oh, yes. Everything modern, everything convenient. High, wide basement. There you are. Now, watch yourself. It's just a little dark down here this time of day.
Oh, it is a big basement, all right. Could hang up plenty of washing down here.
Oh, yes, indeed. Now, if you'll just come this way.
You building something down here?
Building? Oh, yes, indeed. Always building, always changing, always remodeling. Change. My hobby, always changing things.
Hard to keep clean.
Now, don't you worry about that. Everything will be cleaned up in short order. The bags of sand and concrete mixer, everything will be out of the way. Won't bother you at all. No, not at all. Now, right this way.
You're making more room?
Oh, yes, indeed. With nice, clean concrete floors. Here, look at this one.
Kind of dark.
Oh, come on, get closer. All my own work. You see, the floor is still wet. I like concrete, don't you?
Yes, it is clean.
Yes, covers everything. You know how deep that concrete is? 3 feet deep. Yes, ma'am, 3 feet deep. And I just poured it an hour before you honored me with your presence. 3 feet. That'll make a mighty thick slab of stone, won't it, Miss Nord? Thick enough to cover you. Yes, indeed. A fist to the point of the jaw, still a most effective soporific. You're quite a light woman, my dear Miss Nord. Up you go, and in you go. Face down. What an unusual bed you lie in, Miss Nord. Sinking down and down and down. And the concrete will harden, and I guess I will have to get myself a new housekeeper.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's lean back now and relax for a moment. Let's take time out from tonight's amazing lights out story. The story of a strange, mysterious mansion and the one woman who entered those doors and was never seen alive again. Let's turn during this brief intermission to a much more everyday situation and a question that's much easier to answer. An angry girl is storming out of her friend's house. And her friend says,
What can be wrong with Lucy these days?
She crosses a bear and she's losing so much weight she looks terrible. She's just no fun anymore.
Well, you know what that well-known nutrition authority says about how improper eating due to wartime living may cause a person to become deficient in vitamin B1 and iron, and how you absolutely need enough of them to keep your right weight and energy.
Well, come to think of it, that was Ruth's trouble when she got so run down. So she took ironized yeast tablets. And you know how grand she looks and feels again now.
Yes, friends, any number of people who, due to vitamin B1 and iron shortage, were losing weight, losing strength and energy and interest in life, tell how ironized yeast tablets help them regain glorious pep and strength and needed pounds. So if you're short vitamin B1 and iron, don't wait. Go to your druggist this very night and say,
a bottle of ironized yeast tablets, please.
And now back to our lights out story of Murder Castle.
Hello? Hello? Hello, is this the employment agency? This is Mr. Stewart. It's Henry Stewart. I'm interested in employing a nurse for my child. Someone preferably unattached who can live here with my wife and myself. No, just send me their names, addresses, and references and so on. I'll send you a check for the services. My address is 424 East 7th. Yes, that's right, just their names and addresses. Yes, I'll send you a check. Goodbye. Oh, yes, I'll be there. Yes, what is it?
Is Mr. Stewart in?
Oh, yes, indeed. Won't you come in? I'm Mr. Stewart.
Thank you.
You're answering in regard to,
secretarial position. You wrote me a letter.
Oh, yes, indeed. Won't you step in here, please?
Thank you.
Now, you sit there, I'll sit here. We'll get better acquainted. Put your suitcase down there in place, so. Now then, I'm afraid I didn't quite get your name.
Ray. Betty Ray. You wrote me.
Oh, yes, of course. I remember you distinctly. Now then, you have my letter to you just to sort of refresh my memory on the circumstances, don't you know?
Oh, well, I'm sorry.
Eh?
I didn't bring it with me.
Oh, well, then suppose you tell me a little more about yourself and all that's happened. Mother and father see you off the train, I suppose?
Oh, no, sir. It's the way I wrote you, Mr. Stewart. I'm quite alone.
Oh, yes. Well, but first there's the matter of the surety bond. I wrote you about that, didn't I?
Yes. Yes, you did.
Ah, yes, I felt quite certain of that.
Mr. Stewart, I was wondering.
Yes?
Have you had many secretaries?
Why do you ask that?
I want to know.
Why do you ask that question?
And what happens to them after you hire them? Tell me, what happens to them?
Young woman, just who are you?
My name is Betty Malone.
Malone?
Betty Malone. My sister Ella came here a month ago about a job, and I want to know where she is. Do you hear me? I want to know where she is.
I don't think I quite know what you're talking about.
Why do you lie to me? Why do you lie to me? She was here. She was.
Oh, then what makes you so sure?
A letter you wrote her. The first one. I waited a whole month, and then I came here. And as soon as I saw you, I thought something was wrong. And now I know there is. My sister Ella, where is she? You've got to tell me.
What if I tell you again that I don't know what you're talking about?
I'll go to the police. They'll make you tell the truth. I know she came here. I know she did. And why do you laugh? Why?
Because you're being a very foolish young lady. Very foolish indeed. There's no need to get excited. Of course your sister's here, and very happy, too.
She's here?
Yes, and very happy, too.
So then take me to her. Please take me to her.
All right. No need to get excited. Of course I'll take you to her. I intended to all along. I was just having a little joke with you.
Is she all right? Is she all right?
Of course. Now then, come right along with me. Come right along with me. Right along with me. Yes, she's right up here. Been with me for over a month.
Why didn't she write? Why didn't she tell me?
Now then, right down this hall, and you can ask her that for yourself.
This isn't a trick, is it?
My dear young lady, you have easily the most suspicious mind of anyone I've ever met. Why, I'm quite a helpless old man, and you always have recourse, as you put it, to the police. Here we are, right in this room. Well, go right in.
All right. Wait, it's locked.
Well, knock on the door, and she'll open it for you.
Ella? Ella, it's Betty. Let me in, darling. It's Betty.
What do you know? Must be sleeping.
Ella, please. It's Betty, your sister Betty.
Well, now, she certainly is a tight sleeper.
But she can't be sleeping. Open the door. Please open the door.
All right. No reason to get excited.
Quickly, open the door, quickly.
Now, don't excite yourself needlessly. There you are. Go ahead. You open the door.
Ella, it's Betty. Ella, what?
Now then, my dear Betty, we understand each other clearly, don't we?
Ella. Dead.
Nothing like a complete understanding now, is there?
Ella. Dead.
Oh, it wasn't so difficult. I shut the door, sealed it, and nature took care of the rest.
Ella. Dead.
She died quite easily. Much easier than others.
Why?
You mean, why do I do it? It's a very simple explanation, young woman. This is my business. Yes, my business. Some men make their fortunes in stocks, some bonds, some in business. And this is my business.
Why?
Why is any business conducted? Profit, my dear. And I've made quite a neat little profit. Oh, yes, and a very safe one, too.
Ella, dead.
Yes, and you're the very first to come wandering about looking for one of my customers. The first. And I assure you, the last. Oh, yes, 30 women have come in my front door.
Ella.
31, including you and Ella. Come on along.
No.
I'll tell you all about them. You'll find it most instructive. Yes, indeed. Now, come.
Don't hold my arm.
Oh, but I must. These collars, they twist and turn. Oh, yes, it's best I hold your arm. Get lost easily around this house. My most interesting house.
Where are you taking me?
Yes, there were 30 before you. Most interesting array. I used to read the want ads in small-town papers, and then I'd write letters. Oh, most interesting letters. I needed a secretary, a housekeeper, nurse, excellent salary, unusual accommodation.
Oh, I knew this had happened.
Indeed. And they brought all their worldly belongings with them, generally in a suitcase. Little here, little there. Oh, why, sure, it's been most profitable. Now, in this room, for example...
No, don't open that door.
No, perhaps it would be better not to. The one in here came to be my housekeeper. Oh, let me see. How long ago was it? Oh, well, no matter. She came as a housekeeper, and after she went into a retirement in that room, I found in her suitcase such interesting bonds. Why, I tell you, my eyes fairly popped right in my head. Oh, yes. It's the uncertainty that makes my little business so very fascinating.
Killed 30 women.
Now, let's go down a little way now, down here. Oh, don't make me pull you along.
Killed 30 women.
It wasn't difficult. Most women are such fools, anxious to believe what they want to believe.
They came here for life, and you gave them death.
Ah, you're the smart one. That's why I'm even bothering showing you my work. I never did the others. And showing you around won't do harm. You won't be talking long.
30 women died.
Now, in this room... Oh, let me open it and show you.
No, don't make me look. No, please don't. No.
Oh, you see? There's no reason for excitement, just an empty room. That's what she thought when she went in here. Then I pressed this button, so. And the floor flopped open as she stood on it, and down she went. Down, down, down. Guess into what? A pit of lime. Oh, yes, I tried out so many different ways of killing them. You wonder why they'll never find me out? Well, I'll tell you why. Because I'm much too smart for all of them. Oh, not perfect crimes. No, nothing infantile, but just cleverness in choosing the women I do my business with, and an equal cleverness in doing away with them. Oh, yes, indeed. Now then, what was I telling you? Oh, yes. Why, they'll never get me.
Ella, seeing you, it's done things in my head.
No corpus delicti. And if there is one, no evidence of violence. Ah, there, that's the secret.
Were you very frightened, sister?
Hell of quicklime, there was no corpus delicti. To that I can tell you. Not when you bury them in a slab of concrete. Ah, yes, that's the secret.
If I could only have been with you, little sister.
Now, this room, let me show it to you. I think this will be your room, my dear.
Oh, very frightened.
You see the door? Airtight. Airtight, yes, indeed. I'll open it. The room. Amazing sight, isn't it? No doors, no windows.
I could have helped you, Ella.
Now, I'll shut you up inside the room, then I'll close the door and press this button here like this. You hear that, little one? You hear that? Pumping, pumping, pumping. And guess what is pumping?
Ella, my head.
Air. You hear me? Pumping the air out of the room. Yes, that's clever, isn't it? You breathe, and soon there'll be nothing there to breathe, and then you'll die. And if the police do find your body, no mark of violence, nothing but asphyxiation. A most mysterious death, they'll say. In time, they'll decide it's all quite natural. Embolism, heart attack. Oh, they'll think up a fancy name to clear their files. Yes, indeed, they always do.
It isn't right for him to live, is it, Ella?
Now, first, off with the pump. Now, my dear, I think you'd better step inside. Quickly now, so I can close the door and go about my other work. Quickly, I tell you.
No, wait.
Wait for what?
I want to give you something.
What can you give me that doesn't belong to me already?
This.
Gun.
Get in there. Get in that room.
Gun. You had a gun in your purse all the time?
My father's. I brought it for the man who... Ella, get in that room.
No. What are you going to...
Get in there, I'll press the trigger. Get in there, I'll kill you.
No, don't.
Get in.
Don't. I'm an old harmless man. I was only fooling. I wouldn't hurt you for the world.
Revenge. It's right to revenge, isn't it, Ella? He said to press this button, Ella. The pump. It's running, Ella. Listen to it. It's killing him the way he killed you. It's right to revenge, isn't it, little sister? Right to revenge. 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 Right to revenge.
The air. It's going out. The air. Shut off that motor out there. You hear me? Shut off that motor. Pumping out the air. Pumping it out. The pipe. Air going out. I can't reach the pipe. Shut it off, you devil out there. Shut it off. It'll kill me. Kill me. It's getting thin already. Shut it off. I'll give you anything you want. Shut off that pump. I can't die. I won't die. I'll tear the walls down. Let me out of here. Air. Man's got to have air. Let me out. Let me out. Well, my ear. Can't hear. Gums breaking. Blood in my mouth. My eyes. No air. Bleeding. Air. Give me air. Breath of air. Air.
Revenge. 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 Revenge.
Revenge. Yes, listen to her, Captain.
Revenge.
Over and over again.
Revenge.
Such a young and pretty girl.
Revenge. Revenge.
What could have driven her out of her mind crazy like that?
Revenge. Revenge.
What, I ask you?
Revenge. Revenge.
Well, Mr. Obler, and I suppose they all died happily ever after.
You put things so sweetly, Mr. Martin.
Mm-hmm.
The dark corners of the human mind are the deepest dark, I believe, of anything in the universe. Speaking of darkness, how would you like to turn back the pages of that nebulous stuff known as time to the Sakhalin of Tsarist Russia?
You mean right now, Mr. Obler?
Oh, yeah. You know the answer to that as well as I do, Frank. It's always after you've had your say for ironized yeast.
Remember, friends, if you're deficient in vitamin B1 and iron, if that's why you're so under par in weight and strength and energy, then get ironized yeast tablets right away. Now, of course, a rundown condition may be due to other causes. If in doubt, see your doctor. But if you're simply short vitamin B1 and iron, remember, ironized yeast has been so successful in such cases that it's sold on this no-risk, money-back basis. If you don't begin to eat better, to look and feel much stronger, peppier, and more alive, the cost of the first bottle will be refunded to you in full by Ironized Yeast, Box IY, Rahway, New Jersey. Now, what is this about Sakhalin? Isn't that the Russian island up above Japan?
Yes, but Our story concerns itself only about the Sakhalin, or Sakhalin, which was used as an execution ground and it was a sort of a macabre education ground and a devil's island against the enemies of the Tsar. It's a strange story of man's inhumanity to man in one of the strangest places this world has ever known. But be with us again as usual next week.
I've wondered whether you have forgotten me altogether. Are there moments when you regret that you broke your vow? Tell me truly, oh pal of mine, are you really happy now?
Countdown for blastoff. X -5, -4, -3, -2, X -1. Fire! From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in 1,000,000 could-be years on 1,000 would-be worlds. The National Broadcasting Company presents X -1. Tonight, the science fiction classic, Knock, by Frederick Brown. Tonight we have a strange story to tell. A sweet, blood-curdling little story that is really only 2 sentences long. The last man on earth sat alone in a room. There was a knock at the door. What's that?
Good morning, man.
Who are you?
You have regained consciousness.
Who are you?
I am Zan.
I'm still asleep, I must be.
You are not asleep.
Maybe if I close my eyes, it'll go away.
I will not go away, man.
Oh, I guess I'm awake. What are you?
I am a Zan.
What's that?
A Zan is intelligent life.
Look, I don't... What happened? Where are you from?
From Planet 7 in the 3rd galaxy in the 4th quadrant.
Where?
It is not necessary to repeat information which is correct in the original statement.
Planet 7, but... You mean I'm not on Earth?
You are still on your planet.
Then what are you doing here?
The Zans have annexed your world.
You mean you've conquered Earth?
Yes, that is correct. We will now prepare your planet for habitation by the Zan.
How about the people? What about the population of the world?
You are the population of the world.
Huh? Now, wait a minute. I can't... I don't understand what's happened.
The Zan have landed on your planet. We have removed the lower life forms to prepare for colonization by the Zan.
When did all this happen?
2 days ago. You have been unconscious until now.
You really mean I'm the last man on Earth?
That is correct. Identify yourself now.
What?
Kindly provide data as to your position in the elementary social order of your planet.
Oh. I'm Walter Phelan, Associate Professor of Anthropology at Nathan University. How do you speak English?
We have deciphered your written and recorded records. It is not difficult to reconstruct your language. It is a primary type of auditory communication.
Oh.
Is there anything you want to complete your natural habitat?
You mean I'm a prisoner?
That is correct. What would you want further in your room?
Do I have to stay here?
Yes.
The rest of my life?
Forever.
You better bring me my books.
That will be done.
That's rather considerate of you. You know, I've got to call you something. Do you mind if I call you George?
It is immaterial. I will be back, Associate Professor of Anthropology.
Oh, that's all right, George. Just call me Walter.
Very well, Walter. I will be back with your books.
All right, George. I'll be seeing you around.
You will not be around, Walter. You will be here.
Come in. Oh, hello, George.
Hello, Walter.
Wait a minute. You're not George. You're different somehow.
It makes no difference. The Zan are many, and they are one.
Then I'll call you George, too. I'll call you old George. What can I do for you?
Point 1. You will please henceforth sit with your chair facing the other way.
Uh-huh. I thought so, George. That plain wall is different from on the other side, isn't it?
That is correct. It is transparent.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm in a zoo, right?
That is correct.
How many other animals do you have in the zoo, George?
216.
Not complete, George. Even a Bush League zoo could beat that. Did you just pick at random?
Yes. All species would have been too many. Male and female, each of 108 kinds.
Male and female, huh? Of all the animals?
There is a female of your species among the collection.
Anyone I know? Well, never mind. It doesn't matter anyway. Well, what do you feed us all, eh?
For carnivorous species, we make synthetics. The flora was not hurt by the vibrations which destroyed animal life.
Oh, nice for the flora. Well, George, you started out with point 1. I deduce there is a point 2 kicking around somewhere. What is it?
Something we do not understand.
Oh?
2 of the other animals sleep and do not wake. They are cold.
Don't worry, George. It happens in the best regulated zoos.
What is wrong with them, Walter?
Nothing much. They're just dead.
Dead?
Mm-hmm.
That means stopped. But nothing stopped them. Each was alone.
Well, maybe they just died of old age.
Old age? I do not understand.
You don't? Well, how old are you, George?
Your planet went around the sun about 7,000 times since I was born.
7,000 years?
Yes, I am still young.
Yeah, a babe in arms. Look, George, you've got something to learn about this planet you've hijacked. Here on Earth, we've got somebody you don't know where you come from. An old man with a beard and an hourglass and a scythe. Your vibrations didn't kill him.
What is he?
Oh, old man Death. Down here, our people and animals live until somebody, the Grim Reaper, stops them.
He will stop more?
Well, he gets us all, George. With your lifespan, it won't seem like a minute and we'll all be gone. Looks like you made a mistake, George. And I don't think there's much you can do about it.
That is not correct. The Zan is a logical being. We will take action.
Well, George, where are you taking me?
We will be there shortly. We will bring your books and your chair.
You mean my lease is up?
I do not understand.
It's moving day?
That is correct. We are here now. You will live here now, Walter. It is a larger room.
Well, be it ever so humble, there's no place like home.
Go inside.
Oh, be careful with those books, George. Don't lose my... Oh, excuse me.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
I guess George didn't explain. George tries to be polite, but he hasn't quite caught on yet. I'm Walter Phelan.
My name is Grace Evans, Mr. Phelan. What's all this about? Why did they bring me here?
I think I know why, but let's go back a bit. Do you know just what has happened otherwise?
No, not exactly.
Well, I've been talking to George.
George?
Well, that's what I call them, all of them. There's no way to tell them apart anyway. There aren't many of them here yet. They come from outside the solar system, sort of an advanced scouting party.
I saw their spaceship. It's as big as a mountain.
Yeah, they're moving in on us. They cleaned off the Earth with some kind of vibration. It destroys all sorts of animal life. I don't know whether they did it all at once or if they had to circle the Earth a few times, but they killed everybody.
No. I was afraid
The
that...
cheerful note is that you and I and 200-odd other animals were picked up beforehand as specimens for the zoo. You do know this is a zoo, don't you?
I suspected it. But I don't remember anything about being captured. I just woke up here.
Well, my hunch is they used the vibrations just low enough to knock us all out. And then they cruised around, picking up samples at random. When they were all set, they turned the juice on full blast.
How terrible.
Yeah, well, they solved a lot of problems for us. Housing shortage, wars, even the atomic bomb. I don't suppose the human race, you and I, have to worry about anything now.
It's awful.
Only they made a mistake. They underestimated us.
I don't understand.
They thought we were immortal.
That we were what?
Immortal, like they are. Oh, they can be killed, but the Zans don't know what natural death is. They didn't know anyway until they lost two of us yesterday.
You mean there are more than two of us?
Oh, not more of our species, no. These were merely fellow animals, a rabbit and a canary. And by the Zan's way of figuring time, the rest of us are only good for a few minutes apiece. It's a joke on them. They figured they had permanent specimens here in the zoo.
Well, didn't they even know we'd all die eventually?
I don't think so. George, that is the second Zan I saw, told me he was 7,000 years old, and he's young by their standards. When they learned how quickly we die, they were practically shocked to the core, if they have cores.
How can you talk that way about it?
Academic detachment. I learned it at faculty teas. At any rate, they've decided to reorganize their zoo. 2 by 2.
What, are they going to keep us locked up together in this one little room?
Yeah, I'm afraid so. There's plenty of furniture, though, and George promised to bring me my chair.
We've got to do something.
Why?
Well, I don't know. It just seems to me we owe it to the human race to do something.
Oh, well, perhaps you have a suggestion?
There must be some way. They can be killed, you said.
Oh, yes, I've been studying them. They look horribly different, but I think they have about the same metabolic and digestive system as we. I think that anything that would kill one of us would kill one of them.
But you said 7,000 years.
Yeah, I think I figured it out. Now, George cut his, I suppose you'd call it his hand, when he brought in my books. Started to bleed, red blood. But I could see the cut closing as he stood there. By the time he left, it was healed.
I don't understand.
Well, you see, whatever factor there is in man that makes him grow old is missing in the Zan. Their regenerative powers must be unlimited. They just don't wear out. They go on and on until they're stopped.
Suppose we killed one. There must be some way.
Oh, what would be the use? They wouldn't even punish us. They'd just give us our food through a trapdoor and put up a sign saying, "Beware of the man. Dangerous."
I don't think they'll even have to bother in your case. I don't see anything funny.
I'm sorry. It just reminds me of Martha.
Martha?
My wife. She died 2 years ago.
I'm sorry.
Well, not at all. It was a pleasure. That'll be George with my books. Come in. Hello, George.
Hello, Walter. Point 1. I have brought your books.
Point 1, eh? What else is on your mind?
Another creature sleeps and will not wake.
Oh?
A small feathered one called a duck.
Well, it happens, George. I warned you. Old Man Death, the Grim Reaper. I told you about him.
Walter, the Council of Zan has met. It has been decided logically that A, no life form can withstand the full-strength vibrations with which we cleared your planet. Therefore, the Grim Reaper you spoke of does not exist.
Pretty neat, George. What's B?
B, the only intelligent life to escape the vibrations is you. Therefore, the logical conclusion is you are stopping these animals by some means unknown to us.
George, you are off your trolley.
You will tell me now how this is done.
You've got me.
Yes, we have. It is necessary to save the remaining specimens as long as possible. If we do not get the information, we may be forced to dispense with your species entirely. This means you, Walter, and the female.
Now, hold on, George. Don't go off half-cocked. Let me take a look at these animals that won't wake up.
I will take you there now. Go first, Walter.
After you, my dear George.
This is the weasel.
Now, you should have got him in the winter, George. The fur's worth more then. It's ermine.
This is the reptile cage.
Mm-hmm.
Here are the ducks. That is the male. The female has been stopped.
Yeah, lucky girl. What's the matter, fellow? Lonely?
Walter, you will tell me how you stopped the female duck.
Well, you got me, George. I didn't do it. Maybe she died of the Dutch elm blight.
Walter, you are not being logical. We have concluded you are stopping these animals. Tell us now how it is done.
I've told you, George. I haven't the foggiest notion.
Very well. We will have to take further action.
Oh, what are you going to do, George?
We will go back now to your room.
What happened, Mr. Phelan?
You might call me Walter. After all, George does. And we have more in common.
Please, what happened?
Oh, just a duck, a dead duck. George thinks I killed her by remote control. He wants me to tell him how.
Did you?
Look, I'm just an ordinary anthropologist. There's no telling what those animals died of, just natural causes. But George can't see it that way. He thinks I'm holding out on him.
Good.
What?
At least we can get back at them some way. At least we can do something to them.
Well, why? After all, George isn't a bad fellow, if you like an ant mentality.
How can you say that? Well, they murdered the human race.
I suppose so, but we can't change that now, so why think about it?
We just can't sit here and do nothing.
I fail to see how we can do anything else.
But at least we could be fighting.
I can't see the virtue in that. I was more or less content with my books, and we've got George to talk to.
Of all the men in the world they had to pick, don't you want to fight back? Don't you want to keep on fighting to the end?
It hadn't occurred to me.
But we've got to, Walter.
Why?
Well, I can't really explain it, but, Walter, if there was any good in man, it was that he kept on struggling against nature and, in the end, even against himself. But he kept on fighting for what he thought was right, and we're all that's left. Walter, we just can't end by giving up. We've got to keep on fighting.
You know, you do remind me of Martha.
There isn't much left for us. We could beat them in this one small thing. We can pretend there's a secret about death. We could refuse to tell them anything.
Well, there isn't anything to tell.
But they don't know that. Promise me you won't give in.
Well, I suppose the worst they can do is kill us. All right, Miss Evans. Hello, George.
Hello, Walter. Now you will tell us how these animals are stopped.
George, this may come as a shock to you, but I've decided not to tell you.
Why?
Oh, a romantic attachment to lost causes. My grandfather was a Confederate officer.
Walter, you are not being logical.
Neither was my grandfather. He charged a Yankee battery with 1 round of ammunition and a corncob pipe.
You are not logical, but that is expected in lower life forms. You will come with me now, Walter.
Where are you taking him?
To the 2nd level. Go now, Walter.
You won't tell them.
I can't guarantee anything, but as of now, I don't intend to.
We've got to fight, Walter. Remember that. We've got to go out fighting.
Yes. Yes, I think you're right.
Go now, Walter.
Goodbye.
It's been a pleasure, Miss Evans.
I am waiting. Go now, Walter.
After you, my dear George.
You will tell us now, Walter? That was the first level of vibration. There are many more. However, we have calculated that none of them exceed your threshold of unconsciousness.
Oh, very clever, George.
Of course. You will tell us now, how do you stop these animals? You will tell us now.
As of now, no. However, I'm not very brave, if that encourages you, George.
You are not being logical, Walter.
You're telling me.
We will now use vibration level 2. Walter, you are still conscious.
Let me alone, George.
You will tell us now how you stop the animals.
Let me alone.
We have had vibration levels 1 and 2. There are still 15 more before your threshold of unconsciousness.
No. Let me alone.
Walter, listen to me. Another creature sleeps and will not wake. We must know now.
It's tough. You better start vibrating again, George.
No.
What?
It would not be logical. We have calculated that no further level of vibration will overcome your irrational psychological block. We conclude you will not tell.
Let me go?
That is correct.
That's real nice of you, George. I appreciate it.
We have calculated that the resistance of the female of your species will be lower. We will now place her under the vibrations.
No, George, you can't do that. No, listen, George. George, there is no secret. Can you understand that? There is no secret. Those animals died from natural causes. I'm telling you the truth.
That is not a logical answer. We will get the woman.
I've told you the truth. Can't you understand?
We must know now. The female animal cage next to the duck has been stopped. We must preserve the survivor.
The animal next to the duck?
We will bring the woman here. She will tell us after the vibration.
No. Listen, George. You want the truth? You want to know how to save the mates of the animals that have been stopped?
You will tell us now?
Yes, I'll tell you now. I give up. But you've got to promise to leave the woman alone. You promise, George?
If we receive the answer from you, Walter, there will be no further need for the vibrations.
Well, I guess that'll have to do. All right. Take me to that stopped animal. I'll tell you how to save the mate.
Very well, Walter. You are being logical now. We will go.
Walter, are you all right?
Just let me catch my breath a minute.
What did they do? What happened?
After a while, I told them what they wanted to know.
Oh, no.
As George pointed out, it seemed to be the logical thing at the time.
But you promised.
I know.
It was our last chance to beat them on even one little thing.
Perhaps. You mind if I sit down?
You gave up.
I suppose you could call it that. I'm very tired.
They've beaten us completely then. There isn't even anything we can do. The last of the human race, and we give up. We don't even die fighting.
Oh, it isn't that bad. Something might turn up, Martha.
What did you call me?
Huh? No, I must have said Martha. Sorry, she was my wife. She died 2 years ago. What were you saying?
Nothing. It doesn't matter. It's too late. It's too late for the whole human race.
What now, George?
The Council of the Zan has met.
Oh, something wrong, George?
A Zan has been stopped.
What?
Zan is dead?
That is correct.
Well, you didn't believe me, George. But you can die. You can really die. You'll have to get used to that if you're going to stay here.
The Council has decided. A, you have in some way stopped this Zan. B, you and the woman must be eliminated.
Walter.
No, you've got it wrong, George.
The Council has decided. This time you will have the full vibration.
This time? Walter, what did they do to you?
Oh, they have a rather effective third degree.
They tortured you, Walter?
Yes.
And I thought... Oh, Walter, it was all my fault.
I wouldn't even have tried without you. I suppose we have a last chance now to end with some dignity.
I think you're a very brave man, Walter.
No, not very. There isn't much else to do. Do we go now, George?
Now, Walter. Wait.
What's that?
I have been told another Zan has died.
Now, will you believe me?
The Council of the Zan meets now.
2 gone already, and you were with me, George. You know I didn't kill this one.
What stopped him then?
I told you, it's Old Man Death. You came to the wrong planet, George. Your immortality doesn't go down here. He can stop you, but you can't stop him. And you'll all die if you stick around. What now?
The Council has decided. This is a place of death. We will leave your planet.
Leave? You mean you're giving up?
It is not safe for the Zan.
Oh, Walter, they're leaving. They're really going.
Come on then, George, and don't hurry back.
It would not be logical to do so. We are leaving the Earth now. Goodbye, Walter.
Goodbye, George. Well, they're all aboard now.
So wonderful to feel the sun and the wind again.
Yeah, they've closed the hatches.
Walter, is it safe for us to be out here?
Yes, they're not interested in us any longer. They only want to get away. And I want to see this, Grace. The Zan leaving Earth forever. They're blasting off.
There they go.
Yes, it's all over now. Well, I suppose we might as well go back in.
I still don't understand. Walter, what made them go?
I just told them the facts of life.
Of death, you mean?
No, of life. After all, I thought George was old enough to know. At 7,000 years, he was going to be a pretty big boy.
I wish you'd stop joking and tell me what happened.
Look out for the step. Well, you remember when the first animals died?
The rabbit and the duck?
Yeah, and their mates just started to pine and waste away?
Yes.
Well, that worried the Zan. They wanted to keep the last specimens alive if they could. So finally, I broke down and told them about affection.
Affection?
Yes. And then I introduced Donald.
Donald? Who's that?
Here we are. Grace, meet Donald.
Oh, Walter, please. What does affection have to do with it?
That's what the Zan wanted to know. I told him it was love that made the world go round. That having lost his mate, Donald would die immediately unless he had affection and constant petting.
Petting?
Hmm? I even showed him how. Here, fella, come on. Come here. Yeah. I held Donald in my arms, and I petted him a while. Then I let the Zan take over with the animal in the next cage.
What animal?
Take a look.
You mean this cage?
Mm-hmm. Watch out. Don't go too close.
Walter, it's a rattlesnake.
Yes. Their metabolism made it impossible for them to die of old age, but I had a hunch that they could be poisoned.
Well, then it was the snake that killed the two Zan.
Mm-hmm. They never even knew what bit them.
Then you outwitted them, Walter.
Well, I suppose...
I thought you'd just given up. Oh, Walter, I'm so ashamed.
You don't have to be. I had given up. I probably wouldn't have fought if you hadn't pushed me. Well, we've got a world to plan. A new world, Grace.
I know.
We'll have to decide which animals to let out of the zoo and which ones it'd be safer to keep in. But first, there's a bigger problem.
What's that?
The human race.
Oh.
We've got to make a decision about that. Pretty important one.
Yes, but...
It's been a nice race, even if nobody won it. Of course, it may go backward for a while until it gets its breath, but we can save the books and all the most important things and get it started ahead once more.
No.
It's the Garden of Eden all over again. But Eve, you'll have to watch out for that snake.
Now, don't be ridiculous, Walter.
You know, funny, you even blush like Martha. Only you're stronger than she was. Prettier, too.
I wish you'd forget about Martha.
I think I will, my dear, if you'll give me time.
Now, Walter Phelan, you listen to me. If you think for 1 minute that I
thought it would never happen to me again. But it is love that makes the world go round. So, Grace, if you could only...
No. I wouldn't marry you if you were the last man on earth.
But that's exactly what I am.
I don't care. I don't even want to talk about it. I'm going out.
All right, my dear, but think it over. And please come back.
You see, I told you. It wasn't really so horrible, our story. Remember how it goes? The last man on earth sat alone in a room. And then there was a knock on the door.
Come in. Come in, Grace, my dear.
You see, it wasn't horrible at all. In just a moment, a word about next week's adventure. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you Knock by Frederick Brown, adapted for radio by Ernest Kinoy. Featured in the cast were Alex Scorby as Walter, Laurie March as Grace, and Louis Van Ruten as the Zan. X-1 was directed by Fred Way and is an NBC Radio Network production. And now, next week. A strange and chilling story from the Bureau of Missing Persons. The story of what occurred when they accidentally intercepted a shortwave message, a cry for help from a missing atomic scientist who told them the fantastic story that he was now the man in the moon. How did it happen? You'll hear next week at X minus 1.
Join the Abbotts on another baffling mystery tonight over most NBC radio stations.
Miss a beat at somebody on the street. It's a precious little thing called love. Why am I content alone when I know someone will phone? It's a precious little thing called love. I see a day in June, a wedding tune, a honeymoon cruise. Friends I know who will throw some rice and old shoes. What's the one thing makes me say, heaven's just across the way. It's a precious little thing called love.
Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in 1,000,000 could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight's story, The Embassy. Out of the infinitude of stars and planets in the solar system and other systems in the universe, it is almost mathematically certain that other forms of life exist on other worlds. Someday, in the future, in 1,000 years, or in the next 25 minutes, daring travelers through space will make contact with the inhabitants of another world. But the question is, will we contact them first, or will they contact us? A private detective agency in downtown New York.
Mr. Graffius, Mr. Broderick will see you.
Well, what can I do for you? My name is Graffius of Springfield. I would like your assistance in helping me locate a Martian embassy.
Would you say that again very slowly?
I came to New York to locate the Martian embassy.
I assume you were joking.
On the contrary, I am completely serious. As it happens, I am interested only in Martians at the moment.
I see. Okay, shoot.
Well, it occurred to me in the course of my studies that we, Earth people, cannot possibly be the only intelligent form of life in the universe. Since Mars is older geologically, and since it is also an atmospheric planet, its evolutionary history could easily be similar to ours. Do you follow me?
Well, so far, I can't say no.
If this is true, then they must have been watching us, observing us for hundreds, possibly thousands of years. They also know we are a militaristic, warlike race. We might conceivably set out to conquer and occupy Mars someday.
In which case, they would try to get the jump on us.
Ah, precisely, Mr. Broderick. Now, if you were planning to attack an unknown nation, what would be your first move, Mr. Broderick?
Well, intelligence. Find out what the odds are.
Oh, you have a very logical mind, sir. You would send agents to scout the nerve centers of earthly civilization and advancement. Not Kansas City or Equatorial Africa, my dear sir, but here, in New York, the most technically advanced spot on the earth.
And you want me to help you prove this theory of yours?
Precisely. The expense doesn't interest me.
Well, now, this may take a long, long time, Mr. Graffius. After all, nobody has ever seen the Martian.
I assure you they will be very ordinary-appearing people.
Mm-hmm.
Very likely they live together in downtown New York. Most certainly they live in a private house with no servants to pry in their affairs.
Oh, some ordinary people who live in a private house in downtown New York. I might just as well look up Martians in the classified section of the phone book.
There's one other lead which might help you.
What's that?
They would be almost certain to subscribe to every conceivable type of newspaper, scientific journal, and foreign language publication.
Well, now, that might be something. Okay, Mr. Graffius, it's a deal.
Excellent. I shall contact you tomorrow.
Boss, here's an address. Takes everything from Pick Magazine to the Manchester Guardian. Here, listen to this here. Pick, Look, Scientific America, the Daily News, Daily Worker, the Police Gazette, Journal of Engineering, a Scientific Quarterly, American Psychiatric Journal.
Let me see that.
Yeah.
Oh, Doolin. Sometimes I wonder, what is the address on this?
Well, it's 9 West 124th Street.
Which happens to be the Harlem branch of the New York Public Library.
Oh.
Now listen, Noodlebrain, what we're looking for is a private house.
Oh, boss, what is the sense of all this? You know there ain't no Martian embassy in New York.
This crackpot is paying us $100 a day, and we got to keep him happy. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Also, I have a hunch that Mr. Graffius is not looking for any Martian embassies. He is looking for something quite different. So we are going to find it for him. Which house is it, Doolin?
It's right down there, number 108. Nobody comes out, nobody goes in. I asked around.
You haven't been blabbing around the neighborhood that we're looking for the Martian embassy, have you?
Boss, I'm stupid, but I ain't that stupid.
Who'd you talk to?
I struck up what you might call a casual acquaintanceship with those two girls standing with the baby carriages up the street. That cute one is real cute.
Look, Doolin, don't try to do anything intelligent, all right? Just keep walking up and down, see?
Check.
I'm going back to the office to meet Graffius.
I'll see you later, boss. Hiya, beautiful.
Hiya, Flatfoot.
Name is Doolin, honey. Iron Man Doolin.
Your line is getting rusty, Iron Man.
So help me, honey. If I'm feeding you a line, may the heavens open up and strike me dead. Hey, what's that?
Look out!
I'm sorry to have kept you waiting, Mr. Graffius.
Thank you.
But I've had Doolin casing our first lead for a week now. It's a house down in Greenwich Village, privately rented, number 108 Conklin Street. Nobody seems to know anything about who lives there, except that they subscribe to every paper and scientific journal put out. Also, there's a radio antenna on the roof.
Oh, you don't suppose your Mr. Doolin will try to get inside the house? If this place is the Martian embassy...
No, don't worry. Doolin can take care of himself. It's probably him now. Excuse me. Hello. Yeah, speaking. Doolin? Yeah, he works for me. What? No. No, I can't think of any. Yeah, sure. Okay, I'll be right down. Okay, Lieutenant, yeah. Yeah, right away.
Something the matter?
Doolin is dead, Mr. Graffius. All right, come on, we get a cab. I have to identify the body. Lieutenant, I'm Broderick.
There's your boy, Broderick.
Anybody see it?
A maid pushing a baby carriage. We can't seem to get any sense out of her.
You mind if I talk to her?
Hanson, this guy wants to ask the girl a few questions.
Please. I told you what I saw. How many times I gotta tell you?
Look, miss, the dead man was a personal friend of mine. Would you tell me what happened?
Helen and I were standing in front of Rackman's candy store up on the corner. We both had the babies out. He said hello and joked a little. Then he...
What happened?
It's too awful.
No, please.
Well, first he squashed, and then the stone fell on him.
Did you repeat that?
They don't believe me, but Helen saw it too.
Saw what?
First he squashed, and then it fell on him. He was mashed flat before it even hit him.
Now, look.
That's the story, Broderick.
Please, let me alone. Let me go home. I told you what I saw. Now let me alone. Let me alone.
Did you learn anything, Mr. Broderick?
I don't know.
May I ask, what do you intend doing?
Well, as soon as the cops clear out and this place quiets down, little Broderick is going to pay a personal call on the Martian embassy. Or whatever number 108 is. you are. Open that door.
Yes?
Oh.
Well, young man.
Oh, excuse me, ma'am. Is the lady of the house at home?
I'm the lady of the house.
Oh, well, my name is Broderick. I represent the Manhattan Child Adoption Center. We're soliciting funds and clothing for stranded and unadopted children. I
Won't
wondered
you
if...
come inside?
Well, we don't. Usually
Oh, nonsense. I'm old enough to be your grandmother. Besides, my son Lauren is working at home.
Your son?
Oh, he's a bibliographer. He writes summaries of articles and books from scientific journals and publications for libraries and universities.
Oh, I see.
Sit down, Mr. Broderick. Let me pour you a cup of tea.
Oh, thank you. Well, you know, I'm not much of a tea drinker, but it seems to have a strange taste.
Oh, it's my own recipe.
Uh-huh. Well, I think that I'd better be running along
but
now.
You haven't finished your tea, Mr. Broderick.
No, really. I feel a little funny.
I'll call Lauren.
No. Sorry, I'm leaving. I just feel kind of dizzy.
Well, I'm sure Lauren would like to hear about the adoption center. I'll call him.
No, don't
but I must. Besides, you aren't well.
Tea.
Lauren!
I've got to get out.
Lauren! Lauren, hurry!
Look out. You get out of my way.
No. You must stay.
Yes, Mother. You drugged my tea. You let go of my arm.
Lauren!
Let go!
No! Oh!
I've got to get out the front door. Open.
What happened? The other one, that Broderick, he was here. I drugged his tea.
He got away?
He was suspicious.
Fool! Idiot!
Go after him.
Risk another murder on our doorstep. Are you insane?
But he suspects.
Well, we'll have to take our chances. We'll have to think of some other way.
If he goes to the authorities...
Oh, they'll laugh at him.
How did they find out?
I don't know how. But I'm certain someone else sent them.
Who?
I don't know. I'm afraid to let myself think. It might be. It just might be them.
I've got to get help. Oh.
Look out!
Miss, please.
All right, miss. We'll take care of them. Come along, mister. I'm going to give you a break and take you back to the wife and kids.
No, you can't. I'm sick.
Sick, is it? What's the matter?
I'm drugged. They drugged me.
Who drugged you?
In number 108, the Martians.
Who?
The Martians in 108 at Martian Embassy.
Well, I've seen them with pink elephants, rabbits, and mice, but you're the first one that's got Martians.
No, it's true, I tell you.
Ah, come along.
Listen, don't take me back there. They'll kill me. I've got to make you understand.
Here, I'll help you up the steps.
What? Listen, my name is Broderick. I'm a private dick.
We'll find out about this.
No.
Here, don't try any tricks.
Officer, listen, please. I'll give you anything, $1,000, but please, listen. For God's sake, listen.
Yes, officer?
Oh.
Why, Broderick.
You know this lush, Granny?
Oh, why, that's my son, Broderick.
No, she's Martian.
He's in pretty bad shape. You better get him to bed.
Oh, dear, and he was doing so well at the Alcoholic Society. He must have gotten off again.
Looks like he's ready to pass out.
Lauren!
What is it, Mother? Oh, Brod.
Your brother Broderick has been drinking again.
No, officer, please.
Look out. He's passed out.
Oh, I'll take care of him, officer. We've handled this sort of thing before.
Can you manage okay?
We'll be fine. Thank you.
Oh, you've been very kind, officer.
Nothing at all, Granny. I know how it is with these alkies. Well, I'll be seeing you.
Martian Embassy. Martian. Oh, my head.
Our Mr. Broderick is regaining consciousness, Mother.
What? What happened? I can't get up. Oh.
Do not struggle, Mr. Broderick. It will be impossible for you to rise from that chair. The pressure from this ray will keep you there.
Ray? Who are you?
Well, you've already guessed, Mr. Broderick.
You mean this really is the
Martian embassy? Yes. Yes, you have the honor to be the first prisoner of the Imperial Government of Mars.
First prisoner?
Yes. After the invasion, of course, you will all be our prisoners.
What sort of nonsense is this?
No nonsense, Mr. Broderick. As your people will soon find out. Our preparations for invasion are nearly completed now. As soon as we give the signal, our armed forces will launch a surprise attack. And then the Earth will be ours.
You're crazy.
Oh, not half as mad as you, Mr. Broderick, to come muddling so foolishly into our affairs. It was a mistake, Mr. Broderick. A fatal mistake.
So Doolan's death was no accident, then, huh?
Oh, assuredly not. We found it necessary to use a pressure ray on your friend. The block of concrete was an afterthought. We thought it might help to divert suspicion.
All right. So what happens now?
If you cooperate, you can look forward to a quick, painless death. Like your friend, Mr. Doolan.
If not?
Well, this pressure ray has many delicate adjustments. It can move a pin, or it can crush a boulder. Let me demonstrate.
Oh!
You see, Mr. Broderick, as if an invisible vice were crushing you.
What do you want?
The name of your client. We are interested in knowing who is so anxious to locate the Martian embassy.
The names of my clients are confidential.
Oh! Well?
All right, all right!
Turn it off, Mother. Mr. Broderick has seen the wisdom of speech.
Oh. His name is Graphius.
Graphius?
Yes.
An unusual name for an Earthman.
Describe him.
Well, I don't think I really can.
Describe him.
Oh. He's tall. With a big forehead. It's about 60. Wears thick glasses. He's bald.
Lauren, it sounds like one of them.
Yes. Yes, it does. Contact the planet. Tell them we suspect that our plans are known. Ask for an acceleration of the invasion day.
At once.
What about me?
Oh, I am sorry, Mr. Broderick. But I'm afraid you know too much now. In exactly 5 seconds, you will feel the full impact of the ray which faces you. I would suggest that you relax and meet your fate calmly.
Oh, no, wait a minute.
You will feel no pain, just a wall of force crushing you.
Yes, but listen.
5.
But you can't do this.
4.
It isn't human.
Yes, I know we're not human. 3.
Yes, but do you understand?
2,
No.
1.
Mother in heaven.
Now.
No.
Lauren!
It didn't work.
Something has happened. The magnetic field is dead.
Stand back from the pressure ray, please. It will not function anyway. I have decontrolled your field.
Lauren! Lauren, it's one of them. They found us.
Did you think we wouldn't? You are free to move now, Mr. Brown.
Look, I don't know how you got in here, Graphius, but stick around. These babies are really Martians, just like you said. They're planning to invade the Earth and take over.
There will be no invasion.
All right, you keep these characters covered. I'll get the police.
There will be no need for the police. I intend to handle them myself.
But, Graphius, the police will want
Do not call the police.
I don't get it.
You fool of an Earthling. Don't you realize with whom you are dealing? The invasion of Earth by Mars will be like child's play compared with what...
Lauren! Oh!
Holy mackerel. They just flattened out. like your friend Mr. Doolin. Oh, I detest the use of violence where the intellect can rule. But unfortunately, the Martians are a threat to us and must be destroyed so that we can proceed with our own plans.
What plans?
Naturally, you wouldn't comprehend.
Wait a minute. There are some things here that I do understand. A second ago, that pressure ray didn't work. Now you're using it like it was a toy. How did you get in here, anyway? Who are you? Another one of these Martians?
No, Mr. Broderick. I happen to be a Venusian.
A what?
A representative of the planet of Venus.
You're crazy.
Not at all. Martian invasion would be like child's play compared to ours. The Martians would simply have conquered and enslaved your people. We Venusians intend to exterminate you completely.
And I suppose that you were going to start by knocking me off now,
On the contrary, you are free to leave any time you please.
Leave?
Yes.
Are you kidding? I know your plans, the invasion. I could go...
Tell the police? Go ahead. Huh? Why don't you try it, Broderick?
Because the minute I turn my back, you're going to let me have it.
Suppose you try it and see. I have no interest in stopping you. Go ahead. Run to the police. Tell them anything you like.
All right, Buster, you asked for this. I'm alive. You let me go.
Here. Where do you think you're running to?
Officer, listen to me.
Oh, it's you again. The one with the Martians.
Listen, that story is true. You've got to believe me. You've absolutely got to believe me. They're inside that house, inside number 108. He killed them.
Who killed him?
Graphius, the leader of the Venusian invasion.
Venusian invasion.
Look, they're going to take over the Earth. Listen to me. Go in that house.
Martians, now Venusians. Okay, brother, I've heard enough. Your Betty is a bedbug. Come along.
Please, where are you taking me?
Bellevue Psychiatric Ward, my friend. Come on.
Oh, but you...
Come along.
You don't understand. Why are you such a fool? Let go of me. There's going to be an invasion. The Venusians are going to invade us. Why don't you listen to me? Why don't you listen?
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you The Embassy by Donald A. Wollheim, adapted for radio by George Lefferts. Featured in the cast were John Larkin, Theo Getz, Bill Zuckert, Audrey Blum, Virginia Payne, Clark Gordon, Jack Orison, and Reese Taylor. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Dan Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production.
Walking around in a dream. Oh, what a wonderful dream. I can see flowers rare, but there ain't any there. I'm walking around in a dream. Love songs are born on each breeze. Songbirds are singing in trees. But there ain't any breeze and there ain't any trees. I'm walking around in a dream. Sis says I'm bugged, Papa shrugs, and he acts like he might be sore. look so sad, says the gal's got it bad, worse than she had before. Gazing into sunny skies, raindrops fall into my eyes, and the reason I guess is that someone said yes. Walking around in a dream, just dreaming, walking around in a dream.
The story you are about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Dragnet. Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime, investigated and solved by the men who unrelentingly stand watch on the security of your home, your family, and your life. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case from official police files, from beginning to end, from crime to punishment. This is the story of your police force in action.
Dragnet.
It was Tuesday, March 25th. It was cold in Los Angeles. We were working the night watch out of homicide. Detectives in Los Angeles work in pairs. My partner's Ben Romero. He's a sergeant, so am I. My name's Friday. The boss is Ed Backstrand, chief of detectives. I was on the way back from the record bureau, and it was 13 minutes past 11 when I got to room 42. Homicide.
That's a hot shot. Somebody grab it.
I got it, Ed.
At 1245 East Doheny Street,
1, 2, 4,
2 officers shot. At 1245 East Doheny Street, 2 officers
shot.
What have you got, Friday?
Read it.
2 officers shot. Where's Romero?
Right here, Skipper.
Okay, you've got one to roll on. Get going.
Both Ben and I knew where we were heading. We'd recognized the address. It was the Trapdoor Cafe, a joint in the south end of town that did business with a pretty rough crowd. 13 minutes later, we pulled up in front. 2 patrolmen had the crowd pretty well pushed back. There was a cruiser car in front of the cafe. The car door was open, and an officer was sprawled across the seat. He was conscious but weak, and one of his pant legs was pretty red.
Hello, Sarge.
Hi. How you doing?
I've done better.
Yeah, well, what happened?
Williams and I were cruising. We've been keeping an eye on this cafe lately. Tonight we decided to take a look. And just as we went in, 2 guys left in a hurry. The back door. We followed them out into the alley. It was dark out there, and I called to them. I said, hey, fellas, just a minute, I want to talk to you.
They stopped?
I'll say. One of them whirled. He had a gun in his left hand. He shot both of us.
Left hand, huh?
Williams went down and out. I went down, but I took a shot at them. No effect. And I started crawling out here to the car so I could call in.
You started crawling?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, Emerson. Weren't there any people around by that time?
Yeah, quite a few ran out after the shots.
You mean nobody would help you to the car?
That's right.
Did you get a good look at either of the gunmen?
Well, one of them was tall. I think he was a redhead. There was something funny about his nose. That's all I saw. It's too dark out there. Williams was closer. I think he got a good look.
Joe, the other officer, Williams. He's in pretty bad shape.
Is he breathing?
He's still alive, Emerson. I don't know how much time he's got.
Ambulance?
On the way.
Okay, let's round up all the men who are in the cafe. We're taking them in. We took all the men back to the city hall. There were 23 in the Trapdoor Cafe at the time of the shooting. We questioned all of them. One of them said there had been a redhead in the place, but he couldn't describe him. Ben and I left the interrogation room, and we went back to the squad room.
Friday, Romero. Got a minute?
Yeah, Ed. Come on, Ben.
Sit down.
Okay.
You get anything from those people you questioned?
Nothing we could use.
How's Williams?
Pretty bad.
When do they operate?
As soon as he comes out of shock. Probably in the morning.
You boys will be there.
Yeah, we will.
When the surgeon digs that slug out, get it and mark it for evidence.
Yeah. Skipper, them 2 men shot without asking any questions. They must be hot.
Yeah. Same thing occurred to me.
When we get that slug, the ballistics can tell us whether that gun's been used on other jobs.
We got enough of their modus operandi to have the statistician give us a run-through on the IBM now.
One of them is left-handed, and he shoots quick.
Okay, be in surgery tomorrow morning at 9.
Neither Ben or I said much on the way home, but we were both thinking the same thing. I knew the chief was thinking it, too. Here were 2 men who'd shot a couple of police officers without asking any questions. Now, I suppose you've heard a lot of stories about what the force thinks of cop killers. Sure, we don't like to lose our friends and partners any better than anybody else would. Why not figure it this way? If these 2 guys would gun a couple of armed police officers, do you think they'd hesitate to shoot you, the unarmed citizen? The next morning at 9 o'clock, Ben and I had scrubbed up and we were in surgery. Williams was on the table. The surgeon started in. A lot of minutes later, he got the slug. As for Williams, they took out 7 feet of his intestine and said he might pull through.
Joe, here's the report from ballistics. The slug they took out of Williams come from a .44 Smith & Wesson. The same gun was used in a liquor store killing about a month ago.
You call the statistician?
Yeah, She's running all the cards on previous shooting through the IBM machine. She ought to be through about now. Let's take a look.
Okay, come on. Hi, Helen.
Just a second.
Okay.
Well, that's it for it. These cards will give you all the shootings pulled by 2 men on foot who shot quick, one of them left-handed.
Right.
They're all yours.
You sure can't tell a lot from just a bunch of little holes in these cards, can you?
I can't, but this IBM machine can.
It never ceases to amaze me.
Okay, shall we check the cards, huh?
Yeah, sure.
Wait a minute, Ben. Here we are.
Huh?
Yeah. Here's that liquor store killing ballistics tied the Smith & Wesson in on.
Same gun that Emerson Williams was shot with?
Well, it checks out. The liquor store was in the same neighborhood as the Trapdoor Cafe.
Same gun, huh?
Got to be.
How long ago?
A month ago, yeah. Ben, take the DR number off this card and let's pull the crime report on that job. We pulled the crime report out of the files. It said that there was only one witness to that liquor store killing a month ago. That witness was a woman.
Miss Forbes, I'm sorry to disturb you like this, but we'd like to ask some questions about that liquor store killing you witness a little over a month ago.
Well, I told the police everything I knew about it then.
Yeah, we know, but maybe you wouldn't mind telling us again, huh?
Oh. No, I guess not. I've been trying to forget it, to tell the truth. It was pretty terrible, and I really didn't see so very much because I was awful scared.
I understand. But try to describe again just what happened, will you?
Well, it was about 10 o'clock at night. I was walking down the street toward home when I realized I was all out of cigarettes. Well, I was right in front of the liquor store then, so I went in. The clerk was behind the counter, and there were 2 men standing there arguing.
What's the idea of changing your mind? I thought we was going to get bourbon.
No, let's get the wine.
I want bourbon.
Costs too much. Wine's good enough.
The rest of them want bourbon, too. We better talk to them.
Well, okay. We'll be back when we make up our mind, mister.
2 men walked out of the store, and the clerk smiled at me and shrugged his shoulders. I bought a pack of cigarettes and turned to leave. But just then the 2 men came back in again, and each of them had a gun in his hand.
There's a stick up, mister.
The clerk just sort of crumpled to the floor. I couldn't believe my eyes, but that's just how it happened. The men said this is a stick-up, and then they shot him right away.
Get over against the wall, lady, or you'll get the same.
One of them punched the no sale on the cash register. I was shaking so I almost caved in. He scooped the money out of the drawer and stuffed it into his pocket. And then the other one went over to where the liquor clerk was lying face down. He knelt down beside the clerk and he put his gun against the clerk's spine. Then they both ran out of the store. It was terrible. That clerk, he was lying there helpless and wounded, and they deliberately...
Yeah, Miss Forbes, I understand.
Oh, Miss Forbes, you said that both of the men had guns.
Yes. One of the guns was black, and the other was sort of fancy looking.
What do you mean, Miss Forbes?
Well, it was real shiny.
Nickel-plated?
I wouldn't know about that, but it was shiny.
There were two guns, huh?
Yes.
Well, now about the men themselves.
Oh, I was so scared their faces just didn't register with me. The one who shot the clerk in the back was sort of stocky. That's about the best I can do.
Well, you mentioned in the report that one of the men was left-handed.
Yes, I do remember that.
Uh-huh. Look, Miss Forbes, this is very important to us. One of the men was a redhead?
Redhead? Why, no, I didn't see any redhead.
Skipper, me and Joe's run right smack into a stone wall on this thing.
What's the complication?
Well, there's more than one, Ed. In the first place, we know that the .44 Smith & Wesson was used in both shootings. But the descriptions of the men involved don't check.
Police officer Emerson said he thought the man that shot him and Williams outside the Trapdoor Cafe was a tall, left-handed redhead. Said there's something funny about his nose.
You think Williams got a better look at him?
Well, probably did, but Williams isn't strong enough to talk yet.
And a girl that witnessed the liquor store killing a month ago said that one of those men was left-handed. But she said neither of them was a redhead.
And on top of all that, now we've got two guns to worry about. The girl mentioned two guns, so we checked the autopsy report on that liquor clerk. And, Ed, the bullet that actually killed him came from a .32-20, not a .44 Smith & Wesson.
That fact didn't get any publicity at the time, did it?
No, it didn't.
Okay. We won't give it any publicity now either. With a lot on, it's just the .44 Smith & Wesson we're after. Because if whoever owns the .32-20 finds out it's hot, we'll never get it. Anything else?
Well, we sent teletypes to all outlying stations in neighboring cities. Told them if they get any red-headed suspects, no matter what charge they got them on, to hold them for questioning.
Yeah. Now, how about this .32-20, the actual murder weapon? Any leads on it?
We've got one, Ed. We've been checking the records, and we discovered that 4 hours after the liquor store killing, a taxi driver in the neighborhood was shot and robbed.
Slug was pretty well mashed, but there was enough to tell it was from a .32-20. So we're going over to question the taxi driver now.
Good. Well, I think you boys are on the right trail. So far, what we've got is mostly unrelated facts, but sooner or later, those facts have all got to tie in at some point along the line. Find that point.
Yeah, find the point. Find the tie-in. Well, Ben and I went over to see the taxi driver, a guy who was living on borrowed time.
Yeah, it was about 2 o'clock in the morning when it happened. I got a call to pick up a fare near 105th and Avalon, you know. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I got there. Somebody came over, pulled open my cab door, and said, "This is a stick-up." Then blew it. He let me have it.
Just like that, huh?
Yeah, just like that.
Same deal as others, Joe. Itchy trigger finger.
Yeah. Did you get any kind of a look at the fella?
Look, no, it's too dark.
Uh-huh.
Hey, according to the report, you got shot in the chest.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, you're maybe wondering how come I'm still alive, huh? I'll tell you, pal, it's like something you'd see in a bad movie, you know? I'm carrying a few silver dollars with me, 9 of them to be exact. So I decided to stick them in my breast pocket. Well, mister, that just saved my life. The slug hit them silver dollars.
It's one for the book, huh?
Yeah, you said it.
Well, thanks very much. Say, incidentally, we had a little trouble finding you today. You weren't at the stand you operated out of last month.
Oh, look, I'm not only not at my usual stand, I'm not driving a hack no more.
Oh?
Look, after what happened, are you kidding? No, I don't want to push my luck any further than it's been pushed. Yeah, I figure I had it, you know?
And about that time, Ben and I were beginning to figure we'd had it. We were getting nowhere fast. We had a few informants nosing around, but so far they hadn't come up with any leads. Well, Ben and I followed up all the teletypes that poured in. We just got back from Santa Ana, where we'd been questioning a red-headed suspect, and we'd flopped in the squad room when Chief Backstrand's door opened.
Friday. Romero. Got a minute?
Yes, Skipper.
Any luck with the Santa Ana redheads?
No, none at all.
I guess you haven't heard the latest.
We just now got back in town, Skipper.
Early this morning, another cab driver got shot.
What?
Yeah. Man came up to his taxi, opened the door, said, "This is a stick-up," and shot him. Bullet went through one leg and into the other, but the driver managed to start his cab and drove over to a cafe. He called in from there.
Boys recovered the slug?
Yeah. It came from the same 44 Smith & Wesson that was used in the other two jobs.
The cab driver get a look at the gunman?
Yeah, briefly.
Was it the redhead?
No.
Well, the stocky guy.
He wasn't redheaded and he wasn't stocky. That's all the driver knows.
Well, that's great.
Skipper, this is beginning to sound like a Guns a Month club. You reckon somebody's renting them guns out?
Well, they're passing the guns around all right, but I think they're working together. The way they operate indicates that.
Yeah, the trigger-happy routine.
Killing is apparently more than a business to them. It's pleasure, too. That's why we've got to get to them fast. Come over here.
All right. Come on, Ben.
Here. Take a look at this map.
Uh-huh.
Here's the Trapdoor Cafe, and over here's the liquor store. And down here is where the first cab driver got shot.
Mm-hmm.
Right here's where the second one got it. All of the shootings have taken place within an area of 10 square blocks. Okay. Tonight we're going to throw a blockade around that whole area.
Good.
It'll go into effect at 10 p.m.
At 9:45 p.m., cars and officers started drifting into the area by twos and threes. And at 10, when Backstrand, Ben, and I arrived, the whole area was sewed up tighter than a tick.
Davis?
All set? All set. We got a primary line and a secondary line. If anyone tries to make a break, we'll pick him up in the secondary.
Okay. Friday and Romero here will cruise around the area with me. Go to work, men.
Every car in the area was shaken down. The same process was also followed on all persons on foot. The blockade went on all night. By the end of that time, we'd brought in 217 suspects. 26 of them were redheads.
What's your name?
Henry Wagner.
Where do you work?
Lumberyard.
Which one?
First star.
What time did you get through work last night?
About 6, I guess.
What'd you do then?
Had some dinner.
Where?
Harry's grill.
Then what?
Shot a little pool. Look, I tell you, I ain't done nothing.
Now, let's go back to the day before yesterday. Did you work at...
And that's the way it went all day long. We shot question after question at them, working them gradually back to the days on which the shootings had taken place. When it was all over, we got 6 men wanted in other cities on various charges. We got quite an assortment of guns and knives. But as far as the shootings were concerned, we got nothing.
Well, I guess that's the last of them.
Oh, I was running out of questions there at the inn.
You two boys better go on home and get some sleep.
Well, I was kind of figuring on checking back over the reports to see if we might have overlooked something.
I said go on home. You two boys have been at it for 32 hours straight. Look at you. You're both so groggy you can hardly stand up. You need sleep. It's 4 p.m. now. Don't come back until 10 p.m.
When I walked into the squad room at 10, Ben was already there. An informant had just phoned in a new lead. He told Ben he'd heard about a gang that had been hanging out down around the DeVere Bungalow Court in the south end of town. We knew that the DeVere was close to the Trapdoor Cafe, so we went over to talk to the manager.
Joe, I've been meaning to ask you. You checked on how Williams is getting along?
Yeah, I did. I called the hospital this afternoon. It's going to be all right.
Oh, that's fine.
Well, here we are.
Yeah, manager's office. Still got a light on.
Yeah?
I'm Sergeant Friday, police. This is Sergeant Romero.
Yeah?
We'd like a little information.
Why, sure. Come in.
Thank you.
What can I do for you?
Well, did you hear anything about a gang that hangs out down around here anywhere?
Gang? Why, no.
How about your tenants here? Any of them ever been in trouble, to your knowledge?
No. This ain't exactly the best neighborhood in town, but we try to keep things under control. Once in a while, one of them will get out of line, but when that happens, we heave them out of here.
You heaved anybody out lately?
Yeah, I did. Fellow and his wife a few weeks ago. They had a fight in one of the bungalows. She took a shot at him, but she missed. Party by the name of Stuba, Carl Stuba.
What did this Stuba look like?
Oh, sort of tall, skinny.
Was he a redhead?
No.
Now, we'd like to take a look at that bungalow that he lived in.
Sure. Help yourselves. Down the end there, number 5. Still vacant.
Well, I guess that does it. Stuba didn't leave a thing behind. Matter of fact, we don't have anything to prove that this Stuba's tied in at all. We're only working on a hunch.
Hey, Joe, look.
Where?
Up on the wall there, just by the window.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that plaster there, it's newer than the rest. You got a knife?
I sure have, boy, and I'm carving. That manager'd be awful unhappy with me if he was here.
Yeah, he would.
Yeah, it might... Hey, Joe, here it is. A slug. They plastered right over it.
Okay, dig it out, and let's hope it matches. It matched. The slug from the wall came from the same .44 Smith & Wesson that had been used in the other shootings. So now we had a name to work on, Carl Stuba. But he'd done a good job of dropping out of sight. Well, the next day, Ben thought he had another lead.
I've just been talking to another informant, Joe. He says he heard that there's a fella down in that neighborhood been trying to sell a gun lately.
What kind of a gun?
Nickel-plated with steer horn handles.
Nickel-plated? Well, maybe that's our .44 Smith & Wesson.
Maybe.
Did the informant know who this man was?
Said the feller's name was Alonzo.
Yeah. Alonzo who?
Just Alonzo. That's all he knew.
So now we had two names, Stuba and Alonzo, but no men to go with them. So we went back to making the rounds of the substations, interviewing red-headed suspects. We took a few of them to Williams, who was home from the hospital by now, but he couldn't identify any of them as the man who shot him. Still, we kept checking. Finally, we got around to the 77th Street station. We questioned the suspects they were holding there, and we just started to leave when one of the officers called us.
Hey, Sarge, we're holding somebody else you might want to look at.
Redhead?
No.
What's the charge?
Suspicion of burglary. Small job.
Oh, I don't know. What do you think, Ben?
What's special about him?
He lives in the same neighborhood where those shootings took place.
All right. Where you got him?
Down here.
You admit anything?
No. He's pretty surly. Here we are.
Thanks. Hi.
What do you want?
I'm Sergeant Friday. This is Sergeant Romero. We'd like to ask you a few questions.
Look, I already told the other cops all I know. I didn't steal no radio from that jerk.
What's your name?
We've been through all that once.
Come on, what's your name?
Jackson. Alonzo Jackson.
Alonzo. I looked at Ben, and Ben looked at me. This could